Hello. What's up, everyone? Bear with me as I get everything set up. I realized I hadn't done any live streams at all in this new year. So last stream I did solo stream was back in December when we were still doing our break from recording, and obviously I had more time on my hands, not only with not recording but also um, not having Star Trek uncut reactions to edit because December was our break on Patreon, and then obviously the break was here in January on YouTube. But realized I hadn't streamed in a while, and next Friday, a week from Friday, is Alex's 31st birthday, and we will be doing a live stream just like we did last year for his birthday. We did for both of our birthdays. And so we'll be doing that again. So I figured it'd be good to at least once jump on here and do a live stream, make sure, everything on my system still works and it's not broken or something. So don't have any like major plans or anything like that for this stream, just kind of hanging out, talking to you guys. And I will get to your guys' chats in just a moment once I get all set up here, which I'm pretty close to set up. How's everything look, sound, everything like that? I apologize for the if you guys are hearing this noise here. Let me in 1 second. If you guys are hearing this, I apologize for that. Whoa, I apologize for that. I got this really cool mouse pad, this Star Trek mouse pad, but it was made in the 90s, I would assume, when computer mouses for the most part were the were the ball underneath. Maybe by that point they had the laser ones as well. I'm not sure, but it's a pretty cool mouse pad. But because it was made, it's like this holographic Enterprise mouse pad. You can see here's some Klingon birds of prey there pop up. So it's pretty cool. But unfortunately, it's one of those because everything in the 90s had this sound. So the only downside is when I move my mouse around, my Apple mouse, it's not really made for that. So that's a little bit annoying. So going back and forth on whether I'm going to keep using that or not. I'll do my best to answer questions and everything like that in the chat. If there's anything you absolutely want me to answer, of course, I'll respond to all super chats right away. But I'll go through the regular chat and try to answer it as well. Feel free to throw it in multiple times if I don't see it. But it's also pretty late for a live stream. I think it's the latest live stream I've ever done in terms of like starting a stream. And I'm a very experimental guy. I like to experiment with formats and different type of ideas. So I've done streams in the morning, I've done streams in the afternoon, etc. But hadn't really done one where I start one this late. And one of the things that's different for us is many of you may not be aware of this. Last week was officially Alex's first week doing this channel full time with me. For anyone unaware, I went full time with this channel back at the end of June around my 30th birthday, and he was still working. So all of our recordings were in the evenings, Monday through Wednesday. And so last week he was officially doing this full time. So this is our second week now of recording in the mornings, which has been a change and a pleasant change, a good change. Basically, my day once I became full time used to consist of getting up early, trying to self motivate myself to get up and edit before he comes over to record. Because once he comes over, we record, we're done. It's 9, 10 at night. Um, so now doing it in the morning, I have to get up early because we're going to be recording, and then we're done by early afternoon, and I have the rest of the day for editing as well as whatever else I want. So today after we recorded, I didn't really do much editing today. I just hung out with my wife and then I took a pretty nice nap. So I woke up I woke up just a while ago and I was like, it's late, but I'm going to just go ahead and try to stream because I have a little bit of free time. I'm a little bit caught up on editing in terms of the Star Trek stuff, which is always priority number 1 for Patreon and YouTube. So I was like, yeah, I'll just jump on and do a quick stream here. So this might be something that's more common. I don't know. Depends on how many people show up, how many people have a good time. Because I know for me it's 10 o'clock, but on the east or on the west coast it's only 7 in the United States, and then across the world it's the middle of the night. So people's schedules are always all over the place. All right, let's jump into the actual chat here. Is that the Defiant behind you? Yes, Darren, that is the Defiant behind me, sent to us by longtime patron Monty Crawford, and more PO Box videos are on the way. Plenty of them, trust me. We've all the PO Box videos that you guys have seen, that first batch, that was all recorded back in April. So if you're someone who sent us stuff in the PO Box and are wondering like why hasn't it been in a video, like those are all really behind. And then we recorded a batch in August, and then we've recorded them recently over the holidays and recorded some today as well. So they're all recorded and they'll continue to be in that vertical shorts fashion, but that's why the videos are delayed. In terms of if you've sent us stuff, we've received it, but it'll be up eventually. And the Defiant is one of those things, pretty cool. Didn't have to build it either, just came fully assembled in the box. So that was fun. If you watch our video today, actually, for Civil Defense, right as we go in transition to the patron take section, I show it in the video. So if you want a closer look at it, it's pretty cool. I guess I could just go grab it as well. But 4 a.m. for Simulacrum. Nice. Sid Arthur, thank you so much for the super chat. Glad you guys are loving Voyager so far. The reason I have it above TNG in my show rankings is because I believe it perfected the TNG formula, has better character development, and doesn't have the growing pains. That's all very interesting. I will say off the top, just as so, for everyone here that's aware, usually on these live streams, I don't go into like full on detail, but I do give you guys a heads up of where we are at with recording so that you guys know spoiler wise the cutoff. So we watched episode 6 of Voyager today, The Cloud. So we've watched the first 6 episodes, and that's episode 6 with counting the premiere as episode 1 and 2, just like we did with TNG DS9. And then for Deep Space Nine, we have watched up through episode 14, Heart of Stone. We are watching episode 15 tomorrow. So that is where we are at right now. And as far as Siddharth is saying we love Voyager so far, the first 3 reactions, so episodes 1 and 2, and then episode 3 and 4 are uncut, full watch along, sync up your own copy over on the Patreon. The first one has also been edited, but not the full YouTube video. Just the reaction part has been edited because the people had some syncing issues with international copies not matching up to our 90-minute copy, so I jumped ahead and edited that. So that is up there, but again, it's not the full YouTube video. If you individually buy that post, you're just seeing the edited reaction, not the discussion or patron takes yet. But yeah, thank you so much for that super chat. And as far as what you said about it, I find that very shocking in terms of better character development and doesn't have doesn't have the growing pains, doesn't shock me, but better character development. We get into this in our discussions, but basically the main thing I had heard about Voyager going into it was, hey, this is basically purely episodic TOS. Don't expect any character development or character growth or anything. And I would argue through 6 episodes, there's been more character development and growth than in all of TOS. And that's not a dig on TOS. It's just character growth wasn't the focus of that 60s TV show, and that's totally fine. Um, and I would also agree that there's been more character growth and development in Voyager in the first 6 episodes than TNG until like at least season 4. So that's really good. Of course, there are things about the show that aren't perfect as well right now. So those will come. You guys will see those in the reactions, but Lucid Interface, Josh, you are entering Peak Trek. Cherish it. I appreciate that. Entering Peak Trek, it's funny because finishing TNG was like a deep fear of ours for a long time. Neither of us knowing really anything of Star Trek, Alex wanting to watch Star Trek purely because of The Next Generation. But thankfully, we decided to watch TOS first. But wanting to watch it purely because of Next Generation, like the original idea was, let's react to Star Trek The Next Generation. So it becoming this, the whole thing that fear was always, "Oh, the day we're gonna post, the all good things, we're gonna post a series finale reaction to, TNG, and then, we're gonna lose 80% of our patrons, and, our YouTube channel will become dead," and it's actually been the exact opposite. I mean, it's pretty crazy, but, we were talking about this the other day, it's nuts that subscriber-wise on YouTube, but especially patron-wise, we are larger now than at any point during watching The Next Generation. I mean, obviously, all those shows are, all those reactions are still there. Anyone who finds us right now, a TNG fan, can go watch literally all of them. So that's still a thing. But overall, I was very surprised and happy that that was the case because I was thinking we were going to have to figure a lot of stuff out, in terms of keeping this tenable. But I think we have, I would guess, at least another year or two of this journey being sustainable as the main driver of the channel. So I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, we're still always going to have TNG be a major part of the channel through, things like our new video podcast, Stage Trek, and a number of other things. So it's not going away anytime soon. As Chris points out, also reactions to the movies coming in the coming years, like First Contact and Beyond. Generations YouTube edit coming this Thursday. The Traveler's Travels, 15 months as a crew member. It looks like you got 3 full pips there, a commander here for target audience. Thank you so much. And I think just a little bit longer, 2 years will be coming up in, I think, when did I start those? May, I think, of 2024, somewhere around there. So we should have a couple of people who might be becoming captains once you hit that 2 years. But thank you very much. And Sixto, thank you, Sixto, so much for the super chat. I am, for all intent and purposes, watching Voyager for the first time, and I really didn't like what I originally saw, but this time, loving it. I don't even remember what I saw back then. That's awesome, Sixto. And Sixto did submit a video patron take, so you guys will see this on YouTube soon, but we've been doing patron takes for a long time. We decided, based on requests for something like this, we're now offering the opportunity to anybody. You don't have to be a patron. You can just purchase it without being a patron. But for anyone to submit to us a video or audio patron take as well. We did a number of them for Generations, and they're up there on the shop now for on Patreon for whatever episodes we're doing that week. And Sixto had one for today's episode of Voyager. I really enjoyed that take, Sixto. We put that in the video and reacted to that. But you're basically echoing a lot of things here that you said there, and I agree with you. Um, and, well, I agree with you in the sense of obviously I wasn't around to originally watch it, but I've seen a lot of sentiment about Voyager so far in terms of like, yeah, I didn't really care for Voyager when it came out, or this isn't my show, but I'm having a blast watching it along with you guys. So I hope that really continues. The Traveler's Travels, yeah, the P.O. Box, you can get the address if you, multiple ways. First of all, if you go to almost any video on our channel, in the description, the P.O. Box is in the description of the video. Or if you go to any of our shorts where we're opening something from the P.O. Box, the address is posted on the screen. So either of those places you can find it. Do you think Alex will ever do or join you in a live stream like you're doing right now? I mean, we do that pretty frequently, unless you're talking about something specific, like a pure just live chat like this. But I mean, we just did a live stream last month. We're gonna be doing one for anyone who wasn't here. Next Friday is Alex's birthday. We're gonna be live streaming on his birthday in the evening. Or I don't know the exact time yet, but we'll be live streaming then. And yeah, we might be like doing an activity in those streams, like whether it's a tier list or putting the Enterprise together or whatever. But it's still at the end of the day, the main thing is just a live chat. So yeah, we'll definitely continue to do that. Voyager will be coming to YouTube. Same thing as it's always been. Star Trek Journey, 3 times a week. Um, So that will be coming March 2nd, I believe. I think, what would that be? 2 weeks from today, I think, would be March 2nd, would be the first Voyager video on YouTube. Are there any issues with Voyager since it was all recorded straight to video? How's the video format quality? I would say it's the same as DS9 in my experience in terms of the DVD quality. I haven't noticed anything better or worse. The special effects are, it's 90 special effects for TV. It is what it is. But in terms of the actual DVD quality, I haven't found an issue. I also, we're only 2 discs in, but I haven't had any disc issues, which is not the case with Deep Space Nine. You can see it right here behind me. This is actually our second box set because we had a patron send us the DVD on box set. And at the end of season 2, a lot of the episodes started not working. So then I bought this one, which was released sometime in the 2000s, but I'm pretty sure this is just like a straight up re-release rip of the original one because it's the same exact DVD menu, same exact stuff, and this one was already having issues. Thankfully, we did have a patron in the Bridge Crew that helped assisted us with getting digital files as kind of a backup. So if we do have DVD issues, I do have the digital files as well. We've had to do that only a few times. Actually, Civil Defense, the one just that went up on YouTube today, that was a digital file because the disc didn't work. So it is what it is. It's gonna happen. Just remaster both the shows on Blu-ray already. Like, what are you doing? Generations on YouTube is going to be this Thursday. Chris says so much to enjoy in DS9. It's fun watching your reactions. I appreciate that. Loose to interface, Janeway is the biggest badass captain in terms of hard decisions. Yeah, not to spoil too much about reactions, man, but Janeway is absolutely a badass. And let me show you guys a little image. Actually, I said in one of the early reactions that I already wanted to buy a Janeway shirt, and um, I didn't want to look it up because I didn't want to be spoiled. You look up Janeway shirt, who knows what'll come up. Um, you get it pulled up here. So a very nice long-term patron, Katie, actually already she saw that video, it was like last week, and already sent us some Janeway shirts. So I'll pull these up for you, and you guys will see this in the next PO box video because we actually already got something else from Katie and didn't know it was from her. So we didn't say that in the video. So then she sent us this, so we're gonna put them together as a little bit of an update, and you know that'll be up soon. But here we go. Here is the shirt that Alex and I received. Catherine Janeway for president. Hell yeah. So we wore these in today's Voyager video. Siddhartha with another super chat. Peak Trek IMO is the period that encompasses season 6/4. That's interesting. Of DS9 Voyager. Oh, I get it. 6/4 of DS9 Voyager till the end of Voyager. DS9 season 6 number 1, season 7 number 2, Voyager season 5 number 3. DS9 season 6 has 3 top 10 episodes all time. Well, very much looking forward to that, and we'll probably be that area specifically you're talking about will probably be beginning of next year around there. So really looking forward to that. But WWJF, what would Janeway what's the F? What would Janeway Oh, I think you fixed it. What would Janeway do? Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with WWJD. I'm like, F. What would Janeway do? That's the question for sure. I think just one of the best, right up there with Kirk in terms of just right at the beginning. Just it's like, yep, she got it. Kate Mulgrew got it. Please more Expanse edits. They are coming. They're coming on the weekends. Just did episode 4 last week. Again, keep in mind that episode 8 is already posted because we posted that last year as a little preview for Patreon when we originally watched it. So in the coming weeks, yeah, you'll definitely get episode 5, 6, 7. 8's already up, and then the finale is a 2-part, episode 9 and 10. It will be together. So you'll get those over the next month or so. Of course, I originally planned that to be, hey, here it is during January while we are not watching Star Trek. Unfortunately, I only got a couple of them up because that's just typical me. But I'm editing literally everything on the channel all by myself, so I'm doing my best. But my wife Haley is going to be jumping back in to help me again here very shortly, which will make things easier. She edited, for anyone who doesn't know, almost every TNG reaction for like the first 6 seasons. And then just because of scheduling and stuff going on and work and whatnot, I took it back over. So I did basically all of season 7 on my own as well as season 2 of DS9, and I've been doing this season of DS9. But she's going to be jumping back in to help me out, so that will give me free up a little bit more time to do other edits and catch up on things. Biggest thing I'm really trying to catch up on is over on the Patreon, the Expanse edits, because I feel really bad. The first season was all edited pretty close after we watched it, and then I just fell off and became kind of not top priority, and it hasn't been uploaded since. We watched season 5, episode 2 today, and it hasn't been uploaded as far as an edit since season 2, episode 3 or 4. So I really want to get back on those. But the thing with that is I post those edits. Part of the reason they kind of stopped was because I posted them on there and most of the people on Patreon already watch the uncut. So I post them on there and they get like 4 likes and 1 comment, not exactly motivating to keep editing them. So, you know, that's part of it. But I will catch up. It will happen. By the end of 2026, all of the Expanse edits will be up. Top City Gear, thank you very much for the super chat. Congrats on going full time. Glad you two are living the dream. I really appreciate it. It's going to be who knows how long this lasts. It could last 6 months, 2 years, 5 years. I don't know. But I'm just living every day as, it's happening right now. So let's take full advantage of it. And we are, because we're going to what's it called? We were going to Star Trek Vegas. I don't know if anyone that didn't happen to see that. We got booked. Somehow, these two idiots who know nothing about Star Trek got booked at Star Trek Vegas. So big shout out to the Inglorious Trek-Spurts for that. And we will be there. So that's going to be crazy. That's going to be awesome. And we're doing a lot of other stuff this year as well in terms of, conventions and things like that, while we're have the free time to do so. And hopefully the majority of the time we can make them content as well in some way. Um, will you someday finish Expanse? Yeah, we're finishing it right now. So the whole reason we watched The Expanse was because the Bridge Crew voted for it. And they voted for it every time they voted so far, starting last year with season 1. And so for the last vote, we said, hey, season 6, the last one is only 6 episodes. So instead of doing a separate vote, let's just put it together. And it came down to finishing The Expanse, seasons 5 and 6, versus starting Babylon 5, I believe. And they chose finishing The Expanse. So we're going to be doing that over the next 3-4 months. And then come around this summer, it'll be time to vote again and we'll see what they choose. We might be starting Babylon 5. That was the strong contender. Sid Hartha, you think Janeway could become your favorite captain? I think there's a huge chance. We loved Kirk right off the bat, but I would even say, we're just getting to know what Star Trek is at that point. So it's like we loved Kirk off the bat, but we're not as versed in the world. Janeway, is we love immediately. I think there's a huge potential for that. Even to the point where I wouldn't even be surprised if I said that. However, even with that, regardless of personal favorite, I just love already how every captain is so different. That to where it's like, yeah, your favorite captain might be Kirk, it might be Picard, it might be Commander Cisco, technically not a captain, but Cisco, it might be Janeway, it might be Scott Bakula, or it might be Chris Pine, but whoever it is, I'm joking about those future ones. I don't know, but for these so far, they're all different. So it's like just because if I were to say Picard is my favorite, that doesn't mean like he's a better captain than Kirk or Janeway. They're all different. So I really like it. Rick, I'm a fairly new Patreon member. Well, let's go, Rick. Thank you for joining. Are you planning on reacting to playing any Trek games? Are you taking suggestions? I can't wait for you to continue DS9 and get to Picard, mostly season 3. Yeah, Picard season 3. That's for all the people who TNG is their main show, and now that it's over, that's the big. Can't wait for you to get to First Contact and Picard season 3. Oh, Wrestling with Gaming also trying to write off the convention expenses. That's the goal, man. That's the goal. But yeah, so we posted on Patreon a couple weeks ago because the week that we started Voyager over there, when you guys here on YouTube saw me post the trailer for it, that was our biggest week of all time for Patreon signups, beating out when we started TNG, beating out when we started DS9, which was hugely surprising and a pleasant surprise because again, not that I thought everyone hated Voyager or anything, but I just didn't know that it was like this fan base existed that was like not just a Star Trek fan base, but specifically Voyager. Like, of course, we love all the patrons that are already there, but sometimes it's like, man, it's been a while since like we've seen a new face or a new profile picture comment on something, and then all of a sudden this influx of dozens of people I've never heard of before or seen before on our channel commenting about Voyager. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, so I posted over there and I was like, hey, first of all, thanks for everyone who signed up, and also we're getting really close to 2,000 patrons, so we want to set a goal for that, just like we did for 1,000, and so I'm thinking one of the biggest kind of suggestions and got the most likes was finally actually doing a playthrough of a Star Trek game, whether that's a Sega game and or a board game, whatever it is. this one right behind me, the Judgment Rights one, just some type of Star Trek game that was released prior to where we're at in release order, so no spoilers, is probably a very likely one for that 2000 goal, because we cannot start another show. We cannot add any more content like that. It's just we are too busy. Basically, the next few years on the channel is going to be 3 episodes of Star Trek a week, uh, an episode a week of the X Files, and then over on Patreon, The Expanse, and then whatever else the Bridge Crew votes for. And then we have the movie reaction requests for Bridge Crew members. And once we finally get caught up with those, spinning the wheel, bringing that back on Patreon for movies. So we're booked in terms of that type of content, reaction content. But games, that's something we could set aside to do like once a month or something live or whatever. So I think that's a great idea. Now, if I hear a better idea for a goal between now and when we stream on Alex's birthday next week, then that can change. But that's kind of what I think the leading candidate right now. Also, Webb, I know you're in here. Um, we are watching Robin Hood this week. Now, when will it be posted? No, as soon as I can. But I just want to let you know we are watching it this week. We are watching The Last of the Mohicans on Wednesday, and then Robin Hood on Thursday. I think it's Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, the special edition or director's edition or whatever. We should do a short Star Trek RPG adventure. Yes, someone brought that up on, I think, the reaction today on Patreon about, because I mentioned in the video how I've DM'd before. Now, when I say I DM for Dungeons and Dragons, it's not, I am not a Dungeons and Dragons, aficionado. I am very basic. I homebrew everything. I basically just use D&D basic 5e basic rules and character sheets, and then just do my own game, because the people I play with was mostly my brothers and a couple friends who were like, it's not that serious. So I am not the best DM in the world when it comes to that. As you guys, I'm sure, might imagine, I'm more so, my strength is in the story based element of it, of the role playing, or the improvisation of it. My strength is not following the rules of the game. So when I would play in real life, I would have my younger brother who's better at that stuff, and he plays a lot more video game RPGs and stuff like that, to help me out with the rules in particular. Where if a player has a question, I look at him and I'm like, "What's the rule?" Um, so if we did do a Star Trek RPG, I don't know if I would be the best DM or GM, but I'm also not that big of a fan of being a player. I much prefer being the DM. So, yeah, we could figure something out. Maybe I could have like an assistant DM or something. But I think that'd be really fun to do live at some point. Obviously, that'd be with Bridge Crew members. So if that's something you'd want to take part in, or be part in, you'd have to join the Bridge Crew. But uh, if there's like literally no one interested in the Bridge Crew and doing that, then I could expand that or somehow. But I wouldn't want to do more than, like, I don't know, max 5 people. That even that's pretty big. So, but all of that at the end of the day, at least at first, would probably all be Patreon content anyway. So, Steven Linden's here. What's up, Steven? You also prefer DMing to playing? Yeah, I tried. 'Cause my younger brother, who I mentioned, who helps me out, we did a few sessions where he just solely DM'd and I was a player, and I just, you know, he was a great DM. I can't get into it. That's not how my brain. And maybe that's why I also have trouble playing, like, a single player RPG video game. Like, I loved Fable as a kid, and I loved Oblivion. I was actually kind of already out of video games by the time Skyrim came out. I played Skyrim a little bit, played Fallout 3 a little bit, but like Oblivion was my main one. Even Morrowind back in the day. I was really into those, but then once I got into D&D and DMing and stuff like that, it's like I play it and I'm kind of just like, I don't want to be restricted to just being this one character. Like, I would rather be the one deciding the world and stuff like that. So, I think it's just different preferences for different people. 6 Feet Under on the personal channel. Yeah, Buffet fan. Thanks for pointing that out. Also, thanks for being a channel member for so long. I see you're a commander there as well. Thank you. The personal channel is something I knew was going to take a short hiatus after I did my initial content because again, I edit everything on this channel myself and we were on a break at that point for YouTube. So once the beginning of the year hit, I knew that or not even the beginning of the year, the beginning of this month, February, so the end of January, I knew I wasn't going to have as much time. And there was also with doing Generations and then starting Voyager was going to be about a month worth of kind of getting our bearings. So we're kind of approaching that point now where I'm probably going to be doing some more recording for content for my personal channel this week in the evenings, and then I'm going to be posting. There's already a number of uncut reactions on the Patreon that haven't made it to my personal channel. I watched episode 1 of Smallville, I did episode 2 of 6 Feet Under, and then I reacted to Dark Side of the Moon from Pink Floyd, and I also did another a live music reaction where some people suggested some songs. Those will all be edited and coming to my channel eventually, but yeah, at the end of the day, it is a side personal channel. I don't have as much time as Alex because I edit everything on this channel myself, so, that kind of fall it's this channel is obviously the priority, it's why I'm doing this full time, and then my channel is, like, something I like is on the side, so I am definitely gonna do more of it, but great job with the editing. Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate that. I think I'm pretty ass, but, but thank you. I watch, like, literally any other reactors videos, and I go, "Damn, okay, I wish I could edit that well," but oh well. Greetings, Crown Prince Sebastian. Sarberry12, oh, join as a member of the channel. Thank you very much. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's not a ton of perks to it, but you get a cool pip and you get some emojis. I hope you have fun. And every once in a while, when I am miraculously ahead on editing, you'll get a video a day early. Crown Prince, #1 fan here. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. Harry, what's up, man? Birch Crew member. Did you go see Primate? If you haven't, don't. It freaking sucks. LOL. No, I haven't. I didn't see it. No, I haven't gone to the movie theater. Alex and I were talking about this. The last time I went to the movie theater was Begonia. I saw with Alex, and and I thoroughly enjoyed that. I think he did too. The Yorgos Lanthimos film with Jesse Plemons, Emma Stone. That was the last time, and there was a YouTube short of that here on the channel. So you can, what was that, October? So that was the last time I went to the theater, and then before that, Superman and Weapons. I think those are the only 3 movies I saw in the theater last year. PX Monkey Deep Derp. I've enjoyed watching the uncut reactions. It's been fun seeing you guys make your way through DS9 and Voyager. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy the uncuts. I really like them too. I get at the end of the day, the YouTube edits is going to be the most accessible for everyone. But I really do think in terms of how we do reactions, I think there's you gain a much more out of it with the uncuts in terms of like, not that I cut a bunch of stuff out. I don't. Like the YouTube edits basically have almost all of our commentary. But in terms of like a lot of people will say sometimes, "Oh, I watched your YouTube edit and you're laughing and making jokes the whole time, but then you say it's only a B or you didn't really like it." And it's like, yeah, I think if you watch the full uncut reaction, you get a little bit more of the vibe than, the highlight reel shows, because I edit to our reaction again. I don't edit to the show or movie. So when I'm editing for YouTube, if we sit there and just watch a scene, it's probably not even in the YouTube edit. So it's like, it's harder to get that vibe sometimes. Coberin, I love that you and Alex give your uninfluenced opinion on your reactions. It's made me watch some things you have coming up with a different perspective, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts. Well, thank you very much, Coberin. I know you're a patron as well. I really appreciate that. And not everyone likes that. A lot of people say they like it, so it's mixed. But we're not going to change. It is what it is. So I appreciate it. Haven't been to the movies since the 90s. LOL. The only thing I'll say on that is obviously I didn't go in the 90s. Maybe as a 4-year-old, I went in 99. I don't remember. My earliest memory of going to a movie theater is the movie Bats. When did that movie come out? My dad took me to see Bats. Let's see when that came out. Yeah, 1999. So I guess that was my first time going. I also saw Godzilla 2000. Not Godzilla the American movie, Godzilla 2000. in theaters with my dad. Let's see when that was. You would assume 2000. No, 1999. Okay, so I went a couple times in '99 as a 4-year-old, but for the most part, I will just say overall, as much as like movie theaters are absolutely too expensive and all that, as a as I've grown up and throughout my life, movie theater, the quality of them have definitely increased. Uh, from going to being like a kind of dirty, sticky baseball stadium type to like an actual luxury type event. But with that comes additional costs, so I totally understand people not going. Alex makes fun of me. Ken R. Ken R. First of all, we both love you. Secondly, Alex and myself, I wouldn't say just Alex, make fun of everyone. Um, that's just part of the channel, man. You've been here long enough to know that. But we genuinely both really enjoy. What did you comment? Was it today you commented? First of all, I agree with you about what you said about Bobby the Brain Heenan. Based take. But you commented something. Oh, on Voyager when you were comparing it to TNG, and you were like, a lot of people say it's TNG light. I don't know how you can get much lighter than Weightless. I was laughing so hard. That was great. Oh. Oh, Katie, what's up? Katie's here. Katie, did you see I showed the shirt in the stream? I'll show it again. Here it is. Denaxis is here. What's up? Webb says the original Land Before Time was my first movie in the theater. We went to Pizza Hut first. Greatest day of my life up to that point. Um, so Katie saw Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I've heard so like that is I don't know that movie I think is about it's like an anti-AI movie, right? I guess like the new thing everyone's doing. I've heard really rave reviews, and then I've also heard people who absolutely hate it. And I can relate to this. The people who hate it said, "Look, I totally agree with what the movie's saying. This movie is just really bad." And then I've also seen people really love it. But do they love it because they agree with what it's saying, or did they enjoy the movie? I'm sure, Katie, you probably enjoyed the movie. I would guess. But I'm probably not going to go to the theater to see that, but I always find it interesting when a movie comes out that has such a wide range of opinions, because it must be doing something right, if it has that wide range of opinions, in my opinion. Uh, I mean, well, I guess actually the movie would prefer to just be universally praised by everyone, but how many movies are like that? Rebellious Stranger, are you still planning on reacting to Gattaca? Yes, we are. It's happening. Right now. It's just the thing is, when it comes to movie reactions, our focus has to be the Bridge Crew movie requests. I mean, these people pay us, to react to these movies, and they're our biggest supporters. We have to get through them, and when we did that for the 20K, we were basically caught up, and then right around November, December, we just got slammed with people signing up annually, and now we've been sold out for months, and we have, let me go check here. So we're watching 3 this week. So after we watch those 3, we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left on the list currently, and we're trying to watch at least 2 a week. So that would put us at finishing those in about a month. But we also have conventions coming up, other plans that might extend to 2 months, and also there's the whole thing of there's a whole bunch of annual members who haven't even submitted a movie, and sometimes people will join and then submit their movie request 8 months later, and then it's like I really don't know how many we're gonna have. But with that all being said, yes, Gattaca is still coming. And something I would like to try again soon at some point would be to do a live movie watch along. It might be something I bring back once we start doing the wheel again on Patreon, but I might do it live fully on YouTube. Now, of course, if you don't have the movie to sync up, you can just be there and chat. But that is something I enjoyed. And then Hunt for Red October just kind of traumatized me to never want to do it again. But I think enough time has passed where also our setup is a lot better, and I'm not in my mother-in-law's basement. So might try that again soon. But I'll never do a live for a Star Trek or anything like that, so don't ask that. But for just a movie, might do that again. The Little Mermaid, first in the theater. That's a good one. Return of the Jedi, first in the theater. Yeah, these are all good ones. These are all much better than Bats. Thanks, Dad. Okay, got a few more super chats. Mark Mark Magana, thank you so much for the super chat. Found you at Star Trek 2. Can't believe we're at Voyager. I know, it's crazy. And also hilarious that I mean, Wrath of Khan is still our biggest video on our channel. I think it's inching closer to being our only video with 100,000 views. Let me go see. Yeah, 95. So it's inching close. That'll be cool just to have a video with 100,000 views. But you know, it's funny we liked the movie. We liked the movie. But it's just funny every time that it's like, "Oh yeah, that's our biggest video of all time and like not our favorite thing." And but a lot of people found us from that. Uh Someone who gets their patron take read a lot. The lore has a lot of good takes. He found us through our Wrath of Khan response video. We were responding to all the negative comments. So yeah, it's a that's obviously a big deal. But I'm glad you're still here, Mark. I'm glad we didn't piss you off too much yet. Sixto, I'm going to sleeper because it's a work day. It's late live. This late live. It's been the highlight of my day. Oh my God, Sixto. He's referencing it's been the highlight of my day. Don't do it again. Sixto is in the bridge crew and always shares this clip of Cisco saying that. It's been the highlight of my day. Don't do it again. And I laugh every single time. One of the best clips of all time. But good night, Sixto. Ken R says just do Batman 66 live. It's light enough you don't have to pay serious attention, and light enough there's no chance of being miserable. Okay, yeah, that's actually a very good point. That could be something to try for fun live. I know that Subspace Parlor, I think is their name. Subspace Parlor. They started doing Batman. You know, don't want to steal their gimmick or anything. Um, but yeah, that could be a fun thing to do live. Steve has a video that's over 100,000 views. Makes no damn sense, but it happened. LOL. Yeah, that's the internet. Yeah. Emissary just got to the number 3 spot on our channel. Oh yeah. I mean, that makes sense, right? The TNG premiere, the DS9 premiere, and then Wrath of Khan. That makes sense as a top 3. Let's see where the Voyager premiere ends up. Quentin, I seen Star Trek Insurrection in theaters when it first came out. I was 9 and didn't understand what Star Trek was at that time. That's very funny because that's kind of I wasn't 9, I would have been 14. But that's basically me when I saw Star Trek 2009 in theaters. And I went, "What's this?" And then left the theater and immediately forgot about it in my 14-year-old brain. React N8 React Nate R Reactinator? Thanks, Josh. I'm one of the few old people who did not kill Enterprise. I love all Trek since the 70s. It's been such a pleasure to watch it again through fresh eyes. Well, that's awesome, and obviously we haven't watched Enterprise yet, but I'm excited for it. Doombringer, every time you take a jab at Hunt for Red October, it hurts because it, in all seriousness, is my favorite movie. You made up for it with your contact and defending your life reactions. Well, I mean, I don't think you should. It would hurt. First of all, at this point, most of the times I talk about it, like when I referenced it earlier, I wasn't talking about the film itself. I was talking about the experience of the live reaction and being in a scenario where, oh no, this isn't a great idea because we aren't reactors who can just sit here and go, wow, this is really awesome for 3 hours, you know, as a lot of people know. So it put us in a situation where it's like, wow, we're not digging this and we're like stuck here live. So that was kind of what scared me off about doing it live. The film itself, I'll just, you know, again say we didn't like the film isn't a terrible, you know, it's just not for us. Like it's just not our, you know, but like that's totally fine. It being your favorite movie, you know, doesn't have to hurt. But I appreciate your words, and I did really enjoy Contact and Defending Your Life. Like what a random banger. Paid reaction request from Colomini last year, I believe. And yeah, that was a great time. Yes, I still have the other channel. It's called That Guy Josh, and I talked about it a little bit earlier in the stream. You can go back and watch, but more content will be coming to that soon. The Achievement Guy, I don't know why, but I like Insurrection more than First Contact. I personally, I'm not trying to discount First Contact. I know nothing outside of the remaining three TNG movies besides their title, but I'm just gonna go out on a limb, and I think Insurrection will be my favorite one. We'll see. We'll see in due time. Hermitus. Thank you so much for the super chat. Good stuff, Josh. What I will say may sound crazy now, but Cisco is my favorite captain or favorite arc of a captain. You're starting to get into my favorite territory. Not quite, but almost. Oh yeah, I'm really excited for that. And I wouldn't say it sounds crazy. There's a lot about Cisco I already like. It's just obviously a different type of show, a different type of situation. So like being the best or my favorite is a little bit tough, but I like a lot about Cisco. And we watched up through episode 14. We're watching episode 15 tomorrow. So I'm not no spoilers, but I will just say you guys have seen up through Civil Defense on Patreon. Meridian's coming tomorrow. I mean, you guys have been able to see clearly already we like season 3 a lot more. And that doesn't mean we're gonna love every single episode. As a matter of fact, there's future reactions coming to YouTube, and patrons know which one I'm talking about. That you're gonna go, these guys are fucking insane. But that's what the journey's about. And it's I've really loved this season so far. So, Crown Prince, I know you're a big wrestling fan. Who's your favorite Golden Era wrestler? Believe it or not, IRS is mine. He was a face asking people to follow the law. Money Inc. was dope. Yeah, Golden Era. These are very my experience with Golden Era is not extensive, so these are gonna be pretty basic answers. But if I had to think of one, I mean Roddy Piper definitely comes to mind. You know, as just one of the greatest heels of all time. So he's definitely up there. And then this is a lower key one, not, big WWF huge guy, but also Tracy Smothers. Rest in peace to Tracy Smothers. I got to meet him and be on a few shows with him back in the day when I was wrestling. Hilarious guy, always really nice, and also one of the best heels and can work a crowd, in his day. He also legit wrestled a bear once. So, you ever gonna watch The Watchmen? Do you mean the Watchmen movie or the Watchmen TV series? My answer would be for the movie, if someone requests it in the Bridge Crew, with an annual membership, I will. As far as the TV show, maybe that's something I could check out on my personal channel. I don't see that being covered here. They did like a mini series, right? Thank you so much, everyone, for the super chats. We have another one from Matthew Green. Thank you so much. Favorite captain so far, Kirk, Picard, or Cisco, and which do you think is the better leader of the three? Yeah, that's obviously a question that deserves a lot more time than a quick super chat answer. But off the top of my head, TNG is my favorite show, so Picard is my favorite captain. Is a pretty easy correlation. What I will say is they all have their strengths. Kirk is Kirk from episode 1, and he's Kirk the whole time. And when it comes to the series, he is basically Superman. I love episodes like Obsession and a few City on the Edge of Forever, a few other ones where we do see a little bit of weaknesses from him. But overall, when you talk about a leader, Kirk is probably the best leader. Picard is just my overall favorite because of episodes like Iborg Lessons, uh, even ones where he's not the focus, but he gives some type of speech. Like this is a really random one, but The Loss, for example. Or Peak Performance with Data, where like the episode's about another character, but he comes in to give them that virtuous speech. And Picard is just the perfect for like every cringe person who has to like, make sure everyone knows that they're correct. Like Picard is like the perfect, aspiration of what every human should be. Like bro is basically correct in 100% of situations and he never brags about it. And like he never but he's never arrogant about it. And and he's open to learning and open to learning new things and changing his opinion, which like 1% of people are. And it's just like he's one of my favorite fictional characters of all time because of that. And it's crazy because dozens of people wrote for him, right? Like dozens of people were involved in making that person. But he just comes off as, got to give a lot of credit to Patrick Stewart too. And it's like he's just awesome. And then Cisco is just kind of like, first of all, best dad. How much does being a dad translate to captain? Probably definitely some similarities in the way that Janeway Kate Mulgrew talked a little bit about how she was the oldest daughter of all of her 8 siblings, kind of prepared her to be a captain in a motherly way. I think Cisco being such a great dad, that's not Avery Brooks talking, but Cisco being such a great dad, translates to being a really good leader of that station. For me, where Cisco falls short is just the material he's been given in the show. Like, I really liked Paradise basically solely because it gave Cisco stuff. Like, I'm waiting for Cisco to get more stuff. Um, but I've really enjoyed him. Are you talking pre-season 3 headache Picard? Yeah, that's definitely his biggest weakness, right? But I would say the greatness of Picard from season 3 on is so good that it kind of makes you forgive those first 2 seasons. And also, I know this is a little bit unfair because it's movies and it's years later, but I'll take season 1 and 2 Picard over Star Trek 5 and 6 Kirk. So now, movie Picard can end up being really bad. We'll see when I get to those, but I haven't seen those yet. Are you using whiteboards for Voyager? Yes, the format for Voyager is the exact same. We've basically homogenized all of the Star Trek journey in terms of format. It's all blue background, whiteboard, in this discussion in this area, patron takes, it's all the exact same. It doesn't matter what show it is. And yeah, we're not really looking to change that format at all. So I think we've basically gotten to the peak format for that. Got a couple more super chats. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Groovy Baboon. Thank you so much for the super chat. Freaking love watching along with you guys. I'm still in shock at how much I enjoyed Meridian while watching along with you two. Is there an episode you originally disliked that you like in hindsight? A recent example for me was The Loss. I gave The Loss in TNG a D when I originally watched it, and now obviously my love of the character of Deanna as the show goes on impacted that, going back and watching it. But The Lost really was like one of the first times that we got to see more of her character that wasn't just, you know, early show Deanna. And at the time I was disappointed because I thought they took their plot of the week and took away from it. But on a rewatch, I have now seen many worse examples of that in both TNG and Deep Space Nine. So going back to it, I'm like, oh, it's like 3 scenes of this plot, and Deanna is involved in it too. So that's one I went back and really enjoyed a lot more. Another one would be in the DS9 realm, Shadowplay last season. I was really, really low on Shadowplay when we watched it. And then on a rewatch going back, I was like, oh, you know what? I do really enjoy all the Odo stuff here with the young girl from Imaginary Friend. And there's more here that I did enjoy about it. So those would be the two biggest examples off the top of my head. TOS, that hasn't really happened because I haven't rewatched a lot of TOS, and there also aren't a ton of TOS episodes that I did not enjoy. Of course, there was like our bottom five, Assignment Earth, Deadly Years, the Children one, Children Shall Lead. But beyond that, I didn't like dislike a ton of them. And when we do eventually do the TOS tier list, it'll be fun to see how many even fall into D tier or E tier. Crown Prince, thank you so much for the super chat. I served as an army captain in Iraq and Afghanistan. Well, thank you very much for your service. Being a commanding officer is a lot like being a father, except of 1, 2 kids, you have 150. That's a great point. Yeah, I can imagine that for sure. Which is ironic that Picard is such a great father then, but also with Picard, his style is not fatherly. So it's a little bit different. In a way, it could be fatherly. Fat Produce, it's been great seeing your channel grow over all these years. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you being here so long. And again, Fat Produce with a super chat. Have y'all thought about streaming? I'm sorry, I'm clicking on the screen and it's covering the chat. Have y'all thought about streaming some good Trek games like a Final Unity, Harbinger, 25th Anniversary, Judgment Rights? Yeah, I talked about that a little bit earlier, but it's definitely something we're considering to do in the near future, possibly as the goal for once we hit 2,000 patrons. To say, okay, we hit 2,000 patrons, vote on which game you want us to play, and do a full live playthrough. I think that could be fun. Kirk was a good dad. Didn't he try and teach Charlie how to wrestle? That's true. Kirk had a little bit of fatherly qualities in him for sure. It's just such an adult show in terms of like everyone on that crew is old, is like Kirk's age or older. So he didn't really have in many scenarios. I mean, like Charlie X is a decent one, but he didn't have a ton of scenarios to be like fatherly per se. But I mean, he still was in a captain way for sure. Just not a good father to his real son. Doombringer, DS9, 13, and 14 have some great moments. Anything you want to say without going too far into your reactions? I would say that I agree with you that they have great moments. Yeah, I don't want to go too far into the reaction. Also, there might be some people who are watching DS9 along with us, and those haven't even hit Patreon, so I don't want to do any like spoilers or anything like that. But what I will say is, I'm excited. Ryan, how about Family Guy or Robot Chicken parody? Get someone to watch them before Solomon have spoilers in them. Oh, are you talking about like Star Trek parody stuff? Yeah, definitely one of the top ones on the list as far as that is the Family Guy TNG episode, which I have already seen, but I have seen like years before ever watching Star Trek, so I don't remember it. So yeah, we our kind of rule right now on that is we're waiting until release order, but you know, think there can be exceptions for things. Pesky Pagan just finished watching Birthright 1 and 2 with you guys. Wow. Can't wait to be caught up. Give me a little bit more background on that. Did you like start from the beginning or with TNG or what do you mean get caught up? Are you watching the YouTube edits, the uncuts? What I'm curious on that perspective. What up, Duke? Hey, Josh. Greetings from the Philippines. German working here. Watching you guys for over a year or so. Hey, that's awesome, Duke. That's awesome. I always love hearing about people around the world. What time is it there right now in the Philippines? That's sweet. Thank you for watching. Jarzia, Q, have the first episodes of The Expanse season 5 been an improvement, or did we sign you up for another season of torture? I would say both episodes 1 and 2 are better episodes than any episode in season 4. Also, the season premiere, in my opinion, is up there with season 2 for best season premiere of the show. Um, and not to get too into spoilers, but we did watch episode 2 today. And yes, we did get back on. There were some things that very much bothered Alex. But to me, the good stuff in the episode very much far outweighed the things we didn't care for that were the more kind of season 4 esque or the parts of the expanse we don't care for esque. Um, but just great, amazing stuff so far in those 2 episodes. Even if it's not the whole episode or the entire focus, there's been great scenes. So I'm excited. I'm excited to finish it out. Hopefully that quality remains the same. See you later, Steven. Thanks for stopping by. Watch more Game of Thrones. That's another one I might continue on my personal channel one day. Have a good night. It's noon in the Philippines. Right now it is 11 o'clock. It just about to hit 11 o'clock, and I'm in Ohio, so I'm in the Eastern time zone. So it would be just hitting 8 o'clock in California. What up, Phil? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Are you excited for more DS9? Well, Phil's in the Bridge Crew, and so the Bridge Crew people, this is kind of a unannounced or unadvertised benefit. But when you're in the Bridge Crew, you get to be part of a Discord, and as soon as I edit the uncut reaction, I send the YouTube link into the Discord. So they've actually already seen the next like week and a half of the Star Trek edits or uncuts. So I was gonna ask you, Phil, if you were excited for Deep Space Nine to be back after the Voyager ones, but they're already there. So you've all of the DS9 we've watched, the uncuts are there. So we're watching episode 15 tomorrow, but always thirsting for more DS9, absolutely. You lived in Cleveland before, small world. Oh, nice, yeah. Mark, thank you again for another super chat. Once read that Kate Mulgrew, while Voyager was filming on occasion, would visit LA Children's Hospital in costume. Picardo supposedly did this too. That is huge W. That's awesome for Kate Mulgrew and Picardo to do that. That's sweet. And thank you for the super chat. Audience member patron Brit Me 4 a.m. Looking forward to DS9, Heart of Stone especially. Yeah, well, thank you for being a Patreon member, and 4 a.m., I don't know if you woke up early or haven't gone to sleep, but either way, glad you're here. And, yeah, I'm excited for those to hit as well. We got, just 2 days away, almost tomorrow. In another hour for me, it'll be tomorrow. I guess for you, it is technically already tomorrow. Wednesday, will be episode 13 for early access, but you're an audience member, so I guess, yeah, it'd be Thursday unless you buy it early individually. But I hope you enjoy it. Quentin, I'm glad I discovered your channel back when you started Star Trek Season 1, Episode 1. TOS, been with you all this time. Well, thank you, man. That's awesome. You've lived through all of the bad takes, and you're still standing. I can't believe it. Did you notice there's a Captain Picard and also Robert Picardo? Crazy, right? Thumbnail pose. Text on the screen. Picardo? Question mark? Yeah, I know. That is pretty funny, though. I didn't even know Picardo was a last name. Oh, thank you, Denaxis, for sending out a gift membership. Sleep isn't my friend. Got a 20-week-old. Oh, well, congratulations, and I hope everything's going well. I don't have any kids myself, but the lack of sleep is something, if I ever do have a kid, that terrifies me. Red Headliner. That's a cool name. First time here on a live, but been watching since Mantrap. What's up, Josh? Hey, what's up? Red Headliner, that's awesome. See, I know that there's these people not only that aren't here on a live, but just don't even also I don't know if you comment on our videos, but like don't even comment or anything, and they just like exist. I mean, there's thousands of you, and it blows my mind every day. And like Alex and I talk about this. It's like, sometimes our state of mind gets so focused into like of the 1900 people on Patreon, the 1 or 200 people that leave comments, or even smaller than that, the people we interact with daily in the Bridge Crew Discord. And it's like all those people are awesome, but it's also just weird to think like there's just thousands of people watching who don't interact, and it's like, oh man, hope you guys all enjoy it. I would assume you do. You're here. I appreciate that, Brian. I won't go too much into it because of, spoilers for people here on YouTube, but I do appreciate that. But at the same time, if someone decided not to, I mean, it's like it's their right at the end of the day. We live in a capitalist country. At least I do. You spend your money how you want. But I appreciate you sticking around. Duke with the super chat. Duke, thank you so much. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that currency logo. By the way, I was having sync issues with episode 1, 2, and 3 of Voyager. It's like your version runs on 0.95 speed, or do I need to get a specific version? So I think you said Duke, were you the one that was in the Philippines right now? And you're from Germany? So unfortunately, with DVDs and whatnot, in America, we run at 24 or 23.976 frames per second, which is NSTC or something like that. That is the standard for us. In International markets, a lot of them, from my understanding, they run at 25 frames per second or PAL, PAL. So for DVDs, a lot of the time, it will naturally become unsynced over time because of that 1 frame per second. So that is why you're getting unsynced. Now, the episode 1 and 2 could have also been a different version, but if you're talking about just the speed, like episode 3, that would be the case. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to do like a PAL format edit for every single episode. That would just be too much work. So, there's not a ton you can do. However, there are multiple programs out there. One I would just throw out as Handbrake. I don't know how you're watching your DVD, but there are programs out there if you're on the computer where you can change that frame rate yourself, either the frame rate of our video or the frame rate of your DVD to match up. But if you don't want to go through that work, then you can obviously just pause every few minutes for 0.1 second or whatever. I know it's annoying. There's just really no way around it. Unfortunately, that's how they made physical media. So, but thank you for the super chat. The achievement guy. This is my first time interacting with anyone from this community. Don't worry, you'll be scared off soon enough. No, I'm glad you're here. Uh, Samuchi, I am here since episode 1 of TNG. You became my weekly ritual. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Red Headliner says, "No, I hate watch." Well, no, if you hate watch, then I would know because you would comment. Haha, just kidding. I always look forward to your videos. Appreciate that. Oak Stairs says, "Lurking is a safe way to keep you guys spoiler free. Always like and hype the videos, though." W Oak Stairs, let's go. Appreciate that. Yeah, VLC, I think, is a way to fix it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Doombringer brings up yet another syncing issue is we're watching the DVDs and on streaming services like Paramount Plus, they either add or remove, I don't know the which one, but the commercial break fade outs and fadeds are a little bit longer or shorter. So that also causes a problem. But we have the visual blurred image there the entire time, which hopefully helps. Achievement guys from Ohio, let's go. Yeah, and the commercial break thing, that's just streaming services in general, so US as well. Yeah, that's if we watched it on Paramount Plus, it would be hopefully synced up, but it's just, yeah. Doomringer says pauses us for a couple extra seconds, it works out. Yeah. And at the end of the day, if you're not in the exact same frame as us, it's like even if you're within a few seconds, you'll get the reaction. Like especially if you're ahead. Like if we're ahead of you, it can be a little bit off because then we're reacting before you see it. But even if you were ahead of us by a couple of seconds, like our reaction will still it make sense. Kingpin. Never commenting is a way to never upset anyone. I can't do that. Fair. That's how we feel. Also, I did see your post in the general chat on Patreon about the patron takes. I think it's an interesting idea what you're saying. But for us right now, it's just so, making any kind of change like that is like, we've really gotten it down to a pretty good format that uh, there's nothing wrong with reading more takes, but I would just keep in mind that yes, while our number of patrons has grown, the number of takes really hasn't grown. Like outside of really big episodes or movies, most patron takes get 70 to 100 posts, like 70 to 100 takes. That's basically what it's been. There hasn't been like a ton of growth from member patron takes, to be honest. And we're reading more patron takes now than ever. Like we read usually around a dozen, which was not always the case. So we are going out of our way to try to read more. But unless I saw a huge explosion in the takes, like all of a sudden 500 people were leaving takes, then we would make an adjustment. But with there still just being 70 to 100, usually it's like, I don't really see a reason to change it. About 10% of the takes get read. I think that's a fair. And then in terms of the same names being read all the time, is there like an internal subconscious bias? Maybe I could admit to that in terms of being familiar with the names. But we also both go out of our way to when we see a name and picture we don't recognize. It catches our attention, and if the take is like at all good or interesting, we try to read those. We do go out of our way to do that. Um, but at the end of the day, we have to read the interesting and takes that cause discussion from us, and like Some people get read a lot because their takes are consistently interesting. Like it's just it is what it is. But we've read a number of yours in the past as well. Do you guys still get the react to SG1 memes? I guess, yeah. I mean, we still get reacted to the BSG memes. We still get reacting to Buffy memes, dude. Memes don't go away. I know you guys have a full play, but I would love for you to check out Space Above and Beyond, produced by Morgan and Wong from X Files. BSG owes a lot to the series. Yeah, I mean, hey, one day maybe. It's an unfortunate thing to say, but oh, CD Freester's heading out. See you later. Have a good night. It's an unfortunate thing to say, but I really do think we've kind of hit our what's the way to say it? I think we've like figured it out in terms of like for the next couple of years at least, this channel is going to be Star Trek 3 times a week, once X Files once a week, and then over on Patreon an episode of something that the Bridge Crew votes for, uncut, and then movie reactions on Patreon when we can do them or we get paid requests. Like that's good basically the channel at this point. So, we can only do so much. And then obviously, of course, like live streams, tier lists, the games, stuff like that eventually. Always extra stuff. But in terms of the reactions, I really unfortunately don't see shows like other shows getting added that aren't in that list except for whatever the Bridge Crew votes for. It's just like there's just not time, unfortunately. Now, if we hadn't have fallen in love with X Files, then there's an extra spot. But honestly, X Files has kind of taken the spot of the horror gallery, and the horror gallery was random reactions. So it's like, even then, as far as another sci-fi show, I just don't see there being the room right now. But we have a whole lot of time post Star Trek in a few years, and if there's still enough people here that care about us and are watching, then we'll watch other sci-fi shows. And I think Stargate is like at the top of that list, but there's also Battlestar Galactica, a few others. Hit your stride, I think, is what you're going for. Yeah, that's a good description. Yeah, Fringe, Warehouse 13, all those kind of shows definitely also up same thing, but for X Files, yeah, once we finish X Files, shows like that for sure in consideration. Hat 8918, thank you so much for the super chat. Lots of channels reacting to TOS and TNG, not much to DS9, and even less to Voyager. It's really nice to have something to look forward to. Just join Patreon. Sorry for my long-winded comments. Hat, I've really been enjoying your long-winded comments. So you don't have to apologize. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining the Patreon. And is there lots of channels reacting to TOS and TNG? I mean, I know there's like when you say lots, like I know there's probably 3 or 4, but I mean, a lot of them have that watch TNG have finished them. Regardless, it doesn't really matter. But regardless, yeah, thank you for joining the Patreon. And yeah, it's just very interesting that with the Voyager stuff. I mean, I totally had the same worry of like, there's not going to be as much interest. People don't like it, and then all of a sudden, all these Voyager fans are just like they spawned in. Are you afraid of getting Star Trek fatigue with so many Star Trek movie shows running concurrently? I'll answer it in two ways. In general, with Star Trek fatigue, I got Star Trek fatigue during TNG season 5 and Star Trek 6, and then Star Trek TNG season 6 pulled me right out of it. So I think anytime that we might get Star Trek fatigue, all we would need is some good Star Trek to pull us back out. And as far as multiple things going on, I think that's actually better for the fatigue. If Voyager didn't exist or we chose not to watch it and we only watched Deep Space Nine, the chance of getting Deep Space Nine fatigue would have been way higher than watching two shows that are so completely different. So, and then a TNG movie, once or twice a year thrown in, I like the variety. I think that prevents the burnout. But will we sometimes get momentary burnout? Yeah, it could happen. I don't see it happening right now with how much we're loving everything. Not every episode, but just in general. And just loving the world of Star Trek. When you love a fictional world so much, it's harder to get burnt out on it because you just love that world. So it's like, you know, Now, can you get burnt out on that world? Yeah, probably, but I don't think it's a huge problem. Oh yeah, Patreon only for TNG. Yeah, I know. What was that big one that's doing Star Trek on Patreon only? There's a couple of them. I think Run to the Movies or something like that was one of them, and then Cine React. I'm sorry, I'm not the best with remembering their names, but yeah, those are a few that are Patreon only. Which I mean, good for them. And imagine if we were Patreon only and I didn't have to edit YouTube videos. Man, my life would be a lot easier. Just hire an editor. Oh, got more super chats. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I did not expect this doing this late night stream, so I really appreciate it. Jarzia, are you looking forward to Enterprise and specifically to watching a full show without overlap for the first time since TOS? That's a great point, and I am looking forward to that for that show for many reasons, but that one being one of them for sure. It kind of feels like if I'm talking about our Star Trek journey from TOS through Enterprise, classic Trek, as a meal, a course, right? Going out to dinner. TOS was the appetizer, right? And then I feel like TNG, DS9, Voyager are all versions of the main entree. Like you could say one of them is a salad or a veggie, one of them is the baked potato, one of them is the steak, whatever you want, however you order those shows. And then I think Enterprise is the dessert. And what's funny about it is a lot of times you go out to eat, as you can tell, I'm someone who knows a lot about going out to eat. When you go out to eat, a lot of times the dessert can be the most underwhelming or the worst part of that meal. Maybe we don't like Enterprise. Maybe it's not a good dessert, or maybe it's a really good dessert. I think that'll be fun. And you also typically eat the dessert after you're finished with everything else. So I think that'll be really fun. Thank you for the super chat. We got a couple more here actually too. We got a super chat, but the message was retracted from Master Jake. Thank you very much for the super chat. I don't know if it was retracted because it was a spoiler or if you chose to retract it. If I can get some clarification on that. If it was retracted by a mod, uh you can put it in the regular chat maybe as a non-spoiler version. I don't know. I don't want you to waste the super chat, but thank you. Hermit says, thank you very much for the super chat. Is there any episode reaction that comes to mind where you feel that your initial reaction was pretty different from how you felt later? I actually talked about this a little bit ago in the stream. I know it'd be hard to go back and find it, but I said the loss from TNG and Shadowplay from DS9 are two that I felt very high on, or I'm sorry, felt not high on, did not really like, and I went back and liked much more. But I'll add to it for your super chat the other way, ones that I really enjoyed, and then went back and was like, oh, okay, yeah, this one isn't one of my favorites. Um, Let me think about that for a minute. I think probably I know this sounds crazy to a lot of people, but The Wounded, when we watched The Wounded, I was like, "Oh man, this might be one of the best episodes of the show." And I still really do love it. It's an S tier, but it's not, one of the best of the show in my opinion. Um and then for DS9, one that I thought Melora would be the easiest one. For DS9 where at the time I was like, "Oh my god, Julian Bashir is a character." You know. And now it's like, yeah, I like the episode a lot, but it's not, anything incredible. Evan's got to get out of here, pack for a work trip. Good night, whatever your name is. Thank you so much. I think he's referencing a recent meme that we had. Thank you so much. Yeah, Kingpin, thanks for the ideas for sure. Always welcome to them, and I like to be able to respond to them when I'm able. You guys always gave me more appreciation for the directors when I rewatch now. I find myself going, Cliff Bole, Cliff Bole. Absolutely. I don't know if you're watching the X Files with us, but man, our reaction to seeing Rob Bowman as the director, that was what a shock. And then, of course, over in DS9, seeing Jonathan Frakes, that stuff's awesome. Master Jake, not a spoiler. I basically said I like your theory that Voyager fans have been beaten into submission by the rest of the fan base. And that's why they've been quiet to this point. Yeah, and I talk about this in our Voyager videos, and not only Star Trek fans, but I think specifically DS9 fans. And it's like, I gotta say, reading the comments so far on Patreon, it's like, guys, you can love Deep Space Nine and just like be confident in that and not have to shit on Voyager. Like, it's okay if you don't like it. It's like, it's funny to me because it reminds me so much as a wrestling fan of like growing up and like there being typically there was always WWE and then another brand. So like when I was really young it was WCW and then it was TNA as I was growing up, and now in recent years it's AEW. Like there's usually always that secondary brand that people know for the most part is like not WWE, but it's like some people really like it. And it's just funny how on both sides WWE fans will just absolutely feel the need to shit on whatever that other brand is, and then also people who are hardcore fans of that other brand like need to shit on WWE to make themselves feel better. And it's like, guys, you can just like either like both or only like one of them. Like it doesn't have to be validated by the other one being terrible. And I'm not saying anyone has to love Voyager, obviously. I mean, I shit on stuff all the time, but it's just very interesting to me how like even already on Patreon, you can just tell like the people who are leaving negative comments on the Voyager videos are the ones that are glazing Deep Space 9. And at least so far, it could be this way, but so far I haven't seen it in reverse. Like I haven't seen the Voyager fans shitting on Deep Space Nine on those reactions. But to be fair, there haven't been any Deep Space Nine reactions that have posted since we started Voyager. So maybe with this next one, I will see that. But what I have seen on the Voyager videos so far is those fans being like, "Hey, yeah, I like Deep Space Nine too," or even a lot of them admitting, "Hey, Deep Space Nine is the better written show, or it's the best Star Trek show, or whatever." And it's like, it's just very interesting to me. I think so one of the patrons even pointed out specifically, they were like, "Yeah, when we were watching it in the 90s, me and my friend really loved Deep Space Nine, and then my wife really loved Voyager, and we just like shit all over, and she got upset." I'm paraphrasing. That's not the exact quote, but I'm like, damn, that's really how it feels, just like fandom wide. Or even someone else said that they really liked Voyager growing up, but then like their dad and brother didn't, and like convinced them it was bad, and they were like, "Oh, I don't like it anymore." And then like grew up and rewatched it and were like, "Oh no, I really like this." It's like it's just unfortunate that people feel that need to do that. James, it doesn't look like there's a message here, but thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate that. Quintel, aka Boggle. Oh, it's Boggle. Love the content even when I don't agree. Looking forward to finishing The Expanse. Haven't watched Voyager in a while. Thanks for giving me motivation. Have some Sprite Zeros on me. Speaking of that, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to grab it cuz I want to show you. Okay, so first of all, the other side of the room is where we record the reactions. And I just walked over there and realized we stopped recording at like 2 p.m. today, 2:15, and my camera was still on. Not recording, but just I left it on. That's probably not good. But anyway, and the reason it's able to stay on is because I have a battery pack that goes into it that plugs in, so it's not run on battery. So that's probably not good that I did that. I'm glad I just walked over. Thank you, Boggle, for giving me a reason to walk over and not leave that on literally the entire night. Anyway, so we of course are huge fans, no sponsors by the way, of the Sprite Chill, and all soda I drink is zero sugar. So Sprite Chill, zero sugar. We drink this a lot recently. Really love that. Well, I think it finally is gone for the season. I thought it was like a summer flavor and it just like didn't go away. I'm like, oh, maybe they're hopefully they're making it permanent, like a cherry Coke. Like cherry Coke is permanent, and but unfortunately I do think it is gone. Last time I went to Target, not only was it not there, they no longer had a tag spot for it. And that's how you always look, right? Like when I go to the store, I don't just look as like, is it here? I look like, is there a tag? Because if there's still a tag, they might have more coming, but there wasn't. So that's unfortunate. I hope it does come back, and I really like it. However, what they did just release is this Coke Zero Sugar Cherry Float. Now, Coke Zero was like that was my high school love, right? Like that was like my first love when it came to zero sugar soda. And I was a big Coke Zero guy for a long time. I fell off in recent years because it's just like Pepsi, Coke, Dr. Pepper, like the dark sodas, even zero sugar is just a bit much for me. So it's like I've gone with like the Sprites orange soda, ones without caffeine or even ones with caffeine, but that aren't the darker sodas. I don't know why. That's just my preference has changed a little bit. But I saw this and I'm like, I have to try it. So I'll try it right now for you. But just to be transparent, I've already had some, and it's really good. It's basically cherry Coke, but it's not vanilla Coke. It's just that aftertaste like an ice cream float. Really hope they keep it around. But thank you for that so much for that super chat. And if you're still here, is your name Boggle because of the game? Because I love Boggle. I've always wanted to ask you that. Harry Bros, thank you so much, or Harry Brews, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, a Bridge Crew member and a channel member, you're awesome. Captain Maxwell or Jellicoe? Well, I feel really dumb. Is Captain Maxwell the one from The Wounded? Please remind me. If it is, then Jellicoe. Jellicoe is number 4. 5. Jellicoe is in the top 5, right below our 4 captain leads, in my opinion. Pepsi Zero for me. Pepsi Zero is a good one for sure. I went through a Pepsi Zero phase. However, I hold a little bit of a grudge because about a decade ago, Diet Pepsi Zero at that time was still called Pepsi Max, which I enjoyed Pepsi Max, but Diet Pepsi specifically took out aspartame from their soda. And they did it for like whatever health reasons. I don't care about any of that. I'm drinking fucking soda. I obviously know it's not healthy. Apologies for the language if that bothers anyone. I know it's not healthy. It's soda. But okay, they took out aspartame, whatever. I don't care about the health reasons. But it tasted better. And in my opinion, I don't drink zero sugar soda because it's like, "Oh, I'm trying to be healthy." Like I'm not an idiot. Now, there are some people that legitimately can't drink full soda because diabetes, whatever, like respect to those people. I love the accessibility. But for me, I just genuinely think it tastes better because full soda to me feels like I'm drinking like, you know, something that would melt a car battery. It's like, I don't like it. So for me, when they took the aspartame out of Diet Pepsi, I'm like, this is way smoother. I love this. And then everyone fucking complained and they put it back in like 6 months later. So I've always had a grudge with them since then. But overall, yeah, Pepsi Zero is good. Crush Orange Zero is pretty good. I think I've had that in the past. I'll have to try it again. Dude, solid audio setup. Your movement was 100% silence. Didn't pick up anything. That's rare. Well, I appreciate that. It's not anything I did. I promise. I use the Elgato Wave 3, and it has these settings down here, and this knob right here controls how much background noise. Like I'm guessing, if I back up, like does this sound a little bit different than this? And it has a built-in pop filter, so I don't have to have one over it. I think this was like $100 or something on Amazon. I bought it like 3 years ago. Pretty good. Recommend it. Travelers Travels. My gifts were sent via Amazon and should be there Thursday. Awesome. Okay. Hopefully in time for the B-Day celebrations. You know what? That's a good idea. If we have any P.O. boxes unopened by that time, we could open them on stream. That's a good idea. Drinking the peach tea right now. Peach tea of what, Mr. Jerks? By the way, Mr. Jerks, I appreciate you being a long-time viewer, and your comments are always good ones. I look forward to them, so thank you. Josh loves Admiral Jameson. Don't know who that is. Feel like Mariah Carey. Don't know. Didn't know she sang. Jellicoe is way better than Janeway. All right, calm down. Let's not get crazy. Is the achievement guy out of here? I have a good night, brother. Sounds really far away when you back up. That's good, though, right? Duke! You got another super chat. Question on your audio setup. I have noticed you guys do not use a compressor nor a limiter. Duke, that's because I have no idea what either of those things are. Sometimes it bothers me that I need to crank up the volume on my speakers, then you scream all of a sudden. Yeah, that's a common complaint. If you could tell me what a compressor or a limiter is and how I would use one, I'd be open to it. Right now, we use this is what we use. I use the Comica XD Pro. This is the transmitter that I use. This is a mic on it right here, but you could use it like this. I don't use it like that though. And this is the receiver. So I just plug this into the computer, and then we use a generic uh, lavalier mic that plugs in, and then this goes under our shirt. That's what we use. It's not the best. I don't know anything about this equipment. Also, I will say though, at the very least, we did have the lavalier mics that came with this for like the last 2 years. I finally bought newer ones just to, be like, hey, we should probably just buy new ones that aren't old. And I did feel a little bit better on the sound quality of our last few Patreon videos. But in general, yeah, I would love to know how to make that better. I'm just an idiot. So thank you very much for the super chat. Was PO Box 420 on purpose? No, I mean I don't really smoke weed personally, and I thought it was hilarious. They just give you a number. I mean, maybe if you ask, you can choose one, but for me, I didn't even factor that in. I just signed up for it, and that's the number they gave me. I like the extra loud shouting when when there's a great scene. All right, James, there we go. Mr. Jerks, love the content, man. Just up to Patreon. Let's go, Mr. Jerks on Patreon. That's that U2 song. It's a beautiful day. I hope tech doesn't ruin your time with Trek. Do you mean the tech in the show, like techno babble, or do you mean me having to deal with equipment? Both are valid. You'll send me a message later on Patreon. All right, sounds good. You can also email me at targetaudiencecontact@gmail.com, which I mean, I'll respond to both of them within a day, but the Patreon messages sometimes I don't get to as much. I also have been trying to be less online this week, so I haven't been on Patreon as much, and but I will respond to it. Katie, full soda feels like I'm drinking straight corn syrup. Yeah, absolutely. And not only the syrupy taste, but just the carbonation. It's so much. It's like a full regular Sprite or Coke. You take a drink. It's like, do you drink beers? I don't really drink alcohol. Um, Look, man, I have a really bad addiction to food, so it's like that's my. It's like I'm already dealing with that. If I throw beer in there, I can't. I'm not trying to. But no, I just, I'm someone who it's also I think maybe a little bit of a generational thing, but like growing up, I just never liked beer. I had my first beer when I was 14 at my older brother's 21st birthday party and was immediately like, this is fucking garbage. And of course I drank beer like when I visited my friends in college and stuff like that. And for me, when I did drink, it was never beer. Typically, I would drink things that it's like, look, if I'm drinking alcohol, I'm clearly in a situation where I want to get drunk. So it's like I would just straight up drink shots or Fireball and things like that. Anything that just like burns the taste of the alcohol and I don't have to think about it. Um, I will say in recent years, two beers that I actually do like. Um, or it might be more than two. But if you just straight up were like, you have to drink a can of beer, what do you want? Or a bottle of beer, I would say Coors Light. To me, that's like the only normal beer that I'm like, oh, this doesn't taste like absolute fucking piss in my mouth. Apologies for the language. And then Michelob Ultra is also pretty good. Um, I think there was a beer that had a platinum line. What was it? Was it Bud Light? Bud Light Platinum? I drank one of those and it was pretty good. But overall, I'm not really into alcohol, Uh, you know, eating food cures my depression. I don't need beer. But I have nothing against people who drink. Um, if you enjoy it, I'm not judging you. It's the same thing with, weed. It's like I don't really smoke weed or do anything, but if someone does, based, whatever gets you through the day. For me, it's a double cheeseburger. But everyone has their own things. We're all gonna die eventually, right? So me and my ninth beer of Monday night. Oh, Red's Apple. Yeah, Katie. Yeah, actually, that just opened up a whole. I totally forgot. I did go through a pretty long phase in my early 20s where I started drinking ciders, and I was like a annoying cider guy. You don't have to be annoying if you're a cider guy, but I was like because I hated drinking beer, and then like I found Reds Angry Orchard, a few others, and I'm like, "Oh, this cider is good." Eventually I like was like, "Oh wow, there's like so much sugar in all of these." But and some of them can get really sweet too. But I did have a strawberry cider once from a restaurant. I think they're a national chain, Winking Lizard. I think that's a popular chain, but they're a place that has a whole bunch of different beers, and they had a strawberry cider that was really good once. But yeah, ciders are good. But yeah, I prefer shots or mixed drinks for sure. Alex would always make fun of me back in the day when we would go somewhere and get drinks, and he would get just a straight up IPA beer, whatever he drinks, and then I would get some fruity strawberry mixed drink, and he would make fun of me. But guess who's laughing now? Neither of us, because we don't talk about it. Why would either of us be laughing? Our habits are the same. But although I can't remember where it was. I think it was when we went to Top Golf a few months ago. Alex, myself, Nick, former owner of the channel, and then my wife Haley. And I got Haley and I shared some kind of drink that was like a mixed drink, and he was like, "Oh, that looks good. I'm gonna try that." And then Alex ordered it and like downed it. He's like, "This is fucking delicious." So I mean, he's come around on it. Winking lizard sounds like a euphemism. Maybe it is, but they legit have a lizard in the restaurant. If you look it up, they have a live lizard in all of the winking lizard locations, and like a huge one. I don't go there a ton, but they're known for that. They have like a menu of like 500 beers or something, and if you buy all of them in a year, you get a jacket or something like that. Winking Lizard is only Ohio. Oh, damn. Okay, I thought they were bigger than that. Your Alex impersonation is spot on. I think we both do pretty good impersonations of each other, just as a consequence of being around each other for 20 years. Understand the food thing. I just lost 80 pounds. Hey, congratulations, man. That's genuine. That's a very hard thing to do. I've been, trying myself to slim down for almost 2 years now, and it's very difficult. I've made a little bit of progress. I've gone through waves of making some progress, losing it, making the progress again. Hitting those plateaus where you'll lose 20 pounds and then don't lose weight for like 4 months, and you're like, what the hell? It's a tough thing. So whether you're doing it all natural or you have a medication, whatever the case is, that's awesome. I'm someone who's fully aware and accepting of my weight, but I'm not like I'm aware that I need to lose weight. Like it's not as if I'm, oh no, I should be 600 pounds and I'm totally healthy. Like I'm not delusional. I'm aware it's a problem. But everyone has problems. That one just happens to be mine. Zepbound. Yeah, Zepbound. Yeah, GLP-1s. I'm a huge huge I guess supporter's a weird thing to say. But some people are like against them or something, and it's like just let people lose weight how they're able to lose weight. Like it's an incredibly hard thing to do. You're a handsome dude, Josh. Oh, really? Well, hey, thank you. Riker Beard is killing it. It's funny. When I met Jonathan Frakes at the convention this past December, I didn't think anything of it. But when I went up to him, the first thing he did was look at me and he goes, "Love the beard," and I was like, "Oh," you know, typical like, "Oh," you know, and he's like, "I used to have one of those." And then he still has a beard, but it's all gray and like thin. And he's like, "This is what you have to look forward to." You definitely look lighter than when you started TNG. I really appreciate that, and I am. I'm about 30 pounds lighter, but I have a long way to go. Long way to go. Also, having to see myself on camera basically every day of my life is that's tough. That makes you want to, whether it's lose weight or you have something about the you that your nose, or you have something about the way you look that you don't like. Seeing yourself on camera is a way to be a reminder of that. But then I stop looking at myself on camera and I look at a plate full of delicious high calorie food and I go, well, wait a minute. Have you tried Vietnamese or Korean barbecue? Delicious. I think I have tried both, and I agree. I haven't really found a food country of origin that I just straight up don't like. There's usually, Alex and I were actually just talking about this in our reactions today because of a patron take, but like like sushi for example, like I would never eat like a raw sushi. It's just not for me. But I love myself a good California roll, a good spicy crab roll. I'm never gonna eat just a salmon or a bass, but I love some fish and chips. Like I can usually love the more basic, generic Americanized version of food. Genuinely think every cuisine has something worthwhile to offer the world. Yeah, 100%. But here's a question for me though. I've always wondered this. What is, if you had to think, like everyone knows, Japanese food, Italian, Mexican, for American food, in my mind, it really comes down to two foods, two dishes. Would you say the premier American food is a burger with fries, or a burger with some type of potato side, or a Thanksgiving dinner plate of like turkey ham, stuffing, green bean casserole? Because I look at those two things and I go, I'm not sure which one I would say is the definitive American dish. I watched a Netflix cooking show a few years ago where each episode they did a dish from a different country. And when they got to America, I was like, oh, they're probably going to do a cheeseburger. But no, they did a Thanksgiving dish. And I was like, oh, that's actually a good point too. And then the people who I thought did the best job, I don't remember if they won that episode or not, did a Thanksgiving burger. And I'm like, they figured it out. Thanksgiving turkey burger. Got a couple more super chats. Thank you guys. I'm gonna keep this going as long as you guys are here and having a good time. Over 100 of you still here. It's pretty late, so appreciate it. Christopher Jones Art. I'm enjoying the heck out of your Star Trek, and I'm glad you have added X Files. Really loved that you watch and appreciated the Night Stalker. Yes, love the Night Stalker. I am evangelical about that movie. Oh, really? The Night Stalker, was it 1970 or 71? Is one of my favorite movies like ever. I loved it so much. And The Night Strangler was good. It was good, not on the same level. We definitely at some point are going to watch the series too. With the X-Files just getting off the ground, we didn't want to do it, but we are definitely going to watch that series. I own it on DVD. I'm really excited for that. Um but man, I loved that movie, man. I'd say in the past few years, I'm trying to think of all the non-Star Trek experiences of like watching something and going, "Oh, wow." The Night Stalker is probably top of the list. And then I would say Superman the movie, the first one. That made me want to watch all of the Christopher Reeves ones because the first one became one of my favorite Superman movies of all time, or not Superman, one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. Um, and then a whole bunch of Bridge Crew movies that unfortunately haven't come to Patreon, but I mean, so many just off the top of my head. I'm sorry if there's anyone here and I don't name your movie, but like, Ravenous, Boogie Nights was a recent one we watched. In Bruges with Colin Farrell. Oh my god. Uh, just so many that I never would have watched and were so great. Conan the Barbarian. Defending Your Life was mentioned earlier. I mean, so many that were just like the very first one we did from Bridge Crew, one of the first Bridge Crew patrons, Ashley, Thank You for Smoking. Not one of my favorite movies of all time, but like a great one. So I've had a lot of those thanks to the Bridge Crew. Jarzia, thank you for a super chat again. I feel you on struggling with diet. I was losing 3 or 4 pounds a week when I was out of work and walking 10 kilometers a day. But driving a truck, I pass way too many fast food places and my self control fails me. Yeah. First of all, you drive a truck as well. I feel like half of our audience is truck drivers, which is awesome. I'm just surprised. Do you watch our videos while you're driving the truck? Um, Also, I feel you because my ultimate downfall, if you go watch videos of myself and Alex wrestling back in 2014, 2015, I was basically what my goal weight is now. I was at 18, 19, so of course, and I was getting into pro wrestling. But then I got a job where I did door-to-door sales. So I wasn't driving a truck, but I did door-to-door sales. So I was driving on my own all day and my schedule was like pretty lax. It was like just go get the sales basically. And I ate, dude. Like it would be crazy. I ate like crazy and it was a bad moment, a bad couple of years for me and I've never really recovered fully from that. But I'm trying. It's hard. And then transitioning to work in an office when I got into insurance and getting to go out to lunch every day. I got an hour lunch and it's just Chipotle every day, Chipotle, Jimmy John's. It's tough, man. It's tough not to, especially when I grew up in a divorced home. My dad was the one who cooked over my mom, and then when they got divorced, I didn't see my dad anymore for a long time. And my mom, she cooks, but she worked, wasn't home every day. Like growing up in a house, it's such a big thing. Like I honestly feel like if I ever do have a kid, regardless of my own health situation, it's like if I have kids, I'm gonna make sure their diet is correct because it's such a huge thing that forms when you're young. Like I had no diet discipline by the time I was 18, and it's a huge deal. So yeah, it's crazy. Thank you for the super chat. Quintal, aka Boggle. Thank you for the super chat. Is this the first ever super chat reply to another super chat? At Jarzia, yeah, every morning when I'm coming back from the Y, I see the McDonald's and justify McDonald's breakfast about half the time. Facepalm. And they do it on purpose. Like they put the chemicals and shit in the food that it literally is addictive. They know what they're doing. Now, I don't think that we should have, I know that other countries are more strict about that kind of stuff. Like we got our RFK talking about it. I mean, it's like I don't know how I fall on that from a legal perspective because like at the end of the day, it's my right to choose what I want to eat. However, I do think I should know, like they should be transparent or like the information be out there. Like I don't know. I'm not saying there has to be a huge warning label on the products, but there should be like some way that someone can become educated if they want to know. I don't know. I think it's a very complex thing, but I'm usually always much more on the side of the personal freedom aspect of like if I want to eat a fucking double cheeseburger and drink a big gulp, let me do it. But I do think people should also be aware, and companies shouldn't be able to lie to you. So it's interesting, but they know what they're doing, man. That's why they're as successful as they are. They know how to get you addicted. Transparent. We knew you were woke. Oh, I'm woke. Absolutely. McDonald's orange drink, dude, the Hi-C, the orange Hi-C McDonald's, my wife loves it. I knew nothing about it. My wife showed it to me back in the day, and I was like, "Holy shit." And then they got rid of it for a time. McDonald's got rid of orange Hi-C, and it was like a crime. The country was freaking out, and they brought it back. And I still, I occasionally get that orange drink, man. It's crack. I've never done crack, but I would assume it's similar. Duke with another super chat. Thank you so much. I have vacation done with household chores, have 4 hours to go until I need to walk my dog, so let's keep donating. And Josh from Sleeping. Alex and I are recording tomorrow a little bit even earlier than usual at 9 a.m. because I have a haircut in the afternoon that I had scheduled before we switched to the mornings. So I have to be up at 9 a.m. So could I stream until 9 a.m.? Could we do it? I don't think so. That would not be good for my health. My sleep, I've been talking about this in the Discord. My sleep is not good. I need to fix it. I've gotten some good sleep the last a few nights, but you would think being literally, I joke around and say unemployed. I'm not obviously unemployed. I work for myself, but I like to say it as a joke. Being unemployed, you would think I'd be able to sleep all the time. I mean, I did take that nap today. That was pretty good. But, no, my sleep is not improved. And now I put myself in a situation where I once again have to get up early in the morning and then I just don't go to sleep. It's not good. A haircut, shave it off, and move from the Riker to the Cisco. I don't think I'd look good bald. I think a bigger guy that can look good bald is a feat. Usually bigger guys that go bald, they have to have the full beard. I just don't think I could pull off that look. Sleep is quite necessary. It's literally like one of the most necessary things to life. I think if I got a full 9 hours of sleep every single day, I'd be a completely different person. I unfortunately don't have the self discipline to force myself to do that, but I'm trying. Would love to see your reactions to the Mortal Kombat TV show. Interesting. Okay. Also, The Immortal. Thank you very much, Reality Strikes, for the super chat. Sorry for starting shit in Discord. LOL. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that here, but I appreciate the super chat. I haven't been in Discord all day, so I stayed out of there for whatever was happening. Harry Brews, thank you so much for the super chat. They say the camera puts on 10 pounds, so you're probably not as bad as you think you are. Well, I guess I appreciate that. I obviously have heard that for sure. No way your hair is too good to cut short. Oh, thank you. My best friends who are both bald were angry at me for years for not growing mine out. Yeah, that's the other thing too is people are anytime like I get a haircut or anything like that, the people are always like, "Oh, you're so lucky with this hair. You better, take advantage of it." It's like, "Okay, I mean, I don't okay. I'm not planning on shaving it." The only time I ever shaved my head was like when I was in high school and would play football. There was like a thing like everyone on the football team shaved their head, not with like a freaking blade, but just, a buzz cut. I did that back in the day, but Josh uses AI to look fresh. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm AI right now. I'm not real. Phone user, thank you for the super chat. Love that you started X Files too. Both Star Trek and X Files are favorites of mine. That's awesome. I got to give a big shout out specifically. I don't know if they're still here, but specifically to Webb and Katie, who were the two biggest proponents of getting us to start X Files. Webb was talking about it for a long time, just in general. And then my hesitancy was, well, we don't have time for the X Files. We don't have time for another show. And Katie mentioned, why don't you just watch episode one? And then if you like it and it does well, you can continue. And I was like, oh, it's a good idea. And then we did that and we liked it and it did well. So, big props to both of them. But in general, yeah, I've really loved it so far. And, yeah, I'm just really excited to watch the whole thing. First time we've ever committed to a show outside of Star Trek to watch the whole thing, and I think it's an amazing fit. X Files is my favorite show. There you go. You look like Wolverine if you let himself go. Appreciate that. Thank you. The Orville is going to be included as part of the Star Trek journey. So even though it's not officially Star Trek, we're going to include it in release order as if it is Star Trek. Oh, the Thomas Riker side beard shave. Ugh, are you talking about from DS9? Because I don't think I could pull that off at all. Like just the goatee. I don't think I'd look good at all. Galaxy Quest we watched a long time ago because our audience at that time voted for it. We absolutely watched it way too early, but it is what it is. They voted for it when we hit 2,000 subscribers, so that reaction's already on the channel. Yeah, no problem, Kingpin. I know you were joking. I get it, and it's an apt comparison. I always think it's funny around being a fat guy around Halloween time because it's like any costume you want to wear is usually just whatever that person is if they were fat, and there's like really no way around it. It's like, oh, like last Halloween I was Luigi. It's like, oh, it's like if Luigi was fat. You could just dress up as a fat person. Like I did Fred Flintstone when on Halloween when we watched They Live, and that was he's already big, so the goatee would look great. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. The closest I ever did was in high school. I did just the chin shaved. I couldn't grow a mustache yet at that time, so I had like the Abraham Lincoln, and I shaved and just had this right here, and I did that for a while. I think that was also kind of like the early to mid 2010s look for a lot of bigger guys, and that was fine. But I also would never return to that. This is actually my first time in a while where I've been keeping the full beard because like for a while I was doing the shave, so it's just a mustache and beard because I didn't like hair all around my mouth, but I decided to grow it out just to the full beard, and I was just growing it out for a while. I just started trimming it again, but I'm liking where it's at right now. I haven't had a clean shave since I think 2017. Maybe if we had 100,000 subscribers or 10,000 patrons, I would do a clean shave. Is that motivation enough? Yeah, Wario. Yeah, that's a perfect comparison. I'm gonna be Luigi. How about Wario? I think I would be a good Wario though. Do you have pictures in your Fred Flintstone costume? I don't have pictures, but it's on the YouTube if you just go look up our They Live reaction. I'm dressed as Fred Flintstone. Carlos, yes. We did get your email, and I'm terribly sorry. I have to apologize to not only you, but, basically everyone that has emailed us that isn't directly channel business related because I have not like, I just am very bad with responding to stuff. Even when I do appreciate it, I forget to respond. I mean, we had freaking David Livingston email us, and like, I didn't respond because I just like, I'm stupid. But I really do appreciate it. It's just, like, the email is for obviously business related stuff, and, like, if it's not that, then I've other things I move on to. I really meant to respond and I think forgot. But yes, I did get your fan art, and if it's okay with you, I'm gonna show it to everyone because it's awesome. Get it pulled up here. And I did actually post it on our Patreon once. I just hadn't done anything with it on YouTube. Okay, let's see. All right, everybody. Carlos sent us this fan art, and I think it is awesome. I'm gonna put it up here for you guys. There we go. Alex and myself watching with Ensign Gates. That is pretty sweet. And out of all the fan art we've received, Carlos, I'm assuming you like, I don't know, did you hand draw this or I don't know how you made it, but obviously like the likeness thing is always difficult. And I think this is probably the closest I've seen in terms of likeness. So if it's all right with you, I would definitely love to use this somehow for something. I also just love that Ensign Gates is in it. It's just so funny. All right, I think I got some more super chats. Katie, thank you for the super chat. Glad my idea to have you guys play the X Files in the horror gallery worked out. My plan worked perfectly. It did. And yeah, it was so true because at the time the horror gallery was like, oh, let's just watch random ones. But for a lot of the shows, we would start with the first episode, so that wasn't out of the ordinary. And then when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, it could just be the first one. And then obviously, if you look at it now, that first episode reaction has I think like 17,000 views or something. So like for a non Star Trek video, it's pretty big. Unfortunately, it hasn't necessarily kept up in the view counts, but it's the only other thing of like I feel like the fans of that show, are consistent on the channel in terms of watching it where it has its own people looking forward to that, which is really cool. And so even with the view counts being lower, I think it's a great supplement for Patreon, I would hope. And I think at this point there are probably, a small group of people here that are here for X-Files specifically, which is awesome. Slap a TA logo on it, make it the YouTube banner. Yeah, YouTube banner dimensions are really annoying. Maybe I could do something like that. I like our current. We just refreshed everything on our YouTube logo, banner, channel layout. I really like it. Got a shout out to bridge crew member Guinevere who helped design the initial logo for this new logo, and then I made some changes, alterations to it. But the base of it, the majority of it, was her. So shout out to her. Um, and I was also glad to eliminate, all kind of any AI type things from the channel because while I'm not the biggest AI hater or anything like that, I just, I liked being able to have actual created art and everything. So Piano Dean, thank you so much for the super chat. Wait till you hear Jerry Goldsmith's First Contact main title score. Literally one of the most beautiful and haunting pieces of music ever written. I am really excited for it, although I will say what's very funny to me is we do mention score a lot when we're watching the shows, and then when it comes to the films or the themes or whatever, for whatever reason, people will be like gushing over these themes, and we're like, oh, I didn't even notice the score. Like Generations, some people were like, oh man, that score was beautiful. And I'm like, oh, I didn't notice it. Do tier rank the X-Files seasons. If you mean all of the seasons, I'm sure we will eventually, but individually we will be doing a tier list and a top 10 for X-Files the same way we do for Star Trek. I think someone else asked about First Contact earlier. It's lost somewhere in the chat, but yes, we're going to watch the movies in release order. So yeah, we'll watch First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis as they aired between the episodes. So yes. Hermitus is out of here. See you later, man. Games to make in the morning. Yeah, have a good time. Thank you for being here. I'm here for 2030 when you finish Trek and get to SG1. You think 2030? I'm thinking so it's going to take us to the end of 2027-ish to finish DS9 Voyager, I'm pretty sure. And then Enterprise, I'm sure will get done in 2028. So I guess 2030 would not be that far off. Although I will say, after Enterprise, there's a whole bunch of years where it's just movies. That's not going to take long. And then once we get to the streaming stuff, they only have like what, 10 episodes a season? So all of that post Enterprise stuff is should get done like within a year, I would guess. So even at that point, post Enterprise, we'll probably start mixing in other sci-fi stuff because there's just not enough content. Even if everyone or a large majority of people are still here, like there's not enough content to do 3 a week. So it's like we'll probably mix other stuff in after Enterprise. So my guess would be late 2028 if I had to throw out a date, but I don't know. 4.5 years of X Files. You say yikes. I say sweet. I say that's awesome. Bring it on. 4.5 years of X Files. Let's go. I did not know that Golden Shark about an audio performance with Nimoy and Delancey. That sounds pretty cool. We did already watch Galaxy Quest. It is on the channel. Assemble your crew. Pick one person from each series: captain, first officer, science officer, tactical, helm, communications ops, chief engineer, doctor. Okay. Whew. All right. Okay. Okay. Recency bias. This is gonna be controversial right off the bat, but I'm picking Janeway as the captain. Not because she's my favorite captain, but I think because of this crew I'm gonna build, she makes the most sense. So Janeway's gonna be my captain. My first officer is gonna be Riker, of course. Science officer is gonna be Spock. Easy. Um, I'm gonna skip tactical for now. We'll get back to that. Helm is gonna be Tom Paris. I know Sulu is also Helm, but I feel like Tom Paris is already like he's the helmsman, like he's the guy. Communications ops. I'm gonna go with I am gonna do a specific communications, and it's gonna be Uhura. And then for ops, I'm gonna do uh for ops, I'm gonna do data. Is that cheating? I think data at ops makes sense. Is that cheating? I'm gonna say ops for now, unless someone tells me that's cheating. Chief engineer is obviously the chief. Um, what's his name? Miles O'Brien. And then the doctor is oh, that's tough. I love all four doctors, dude. Crusher McCoy. Oh, someone just did a super chat about it too. Harry Brews, if you were hurt, which doctor would you want to treat you? McCoy, Crusher, Bashir, the EMH, the doctor. I love all four of them, man. Oh, can they all be on the medical crew? That is tougher than the captains, dude. Pulaski. Yeah, no, not Pulaski. Chief, what's his name? Start all over from the beginning to catch me up. Testicular oxide. Data is ops. Okay, all right, good. Poor Dax can't beat Spock's brain. Yeah, it's just I love Jadzia, but it's like it's Spock. And oh wait, did you even put? I don't think you put security in here. You didn't put security in here. That's gonna be Worf. Tuvok has potential, but it's too early, and it's too early, so it's gonna be Worf. Um, damn, I really gotta choose the doctor, don't I? Not the doctor. I have to choose a doctor. Um, okay, I'll answer the crew question and then I'll do Harry Bruce. For my crew specifically, I don't want to answer it. Okay, let's be real. I do love the Doctor, and I really do am liking Bashir a lot more and more. But it's gonna come down to Bones and Crusher, and it's really a toss up. You know what? I think I'm gonna steal it from Cologne Langness here. It's too hard of a choice, so I'm going Doctor Solar. I can't disrespect Crusher or Org McCoy. I'm going Doctor Solar. And then ship's counselor. Okay, I'm switching it up. I said my first officer was Riker. It's not. Here, you know what? I have to redo this whole thing because I was looking through this going, oh, I need to put people who are already in this thing. I don't need to do that. I mean, it needs to make sense to an extent, but I don't need to do that. So here's what we're doing. The captain's going to be Janeway. The first officer is going to be Deanna Troy. Get over it. the the uh the science officer is still going to be Spock. Someone give me a brief explanation of what tactical does so I can choose that. Helm is going to be Tom Paris. Communications is Uhura, and it's going to be its own thing. Ops is Data. The chief engineer is the chief. Wait, chief engineer? No, that's not the chief. I'm sorry. I messed up. Well, it could be. Is the chief engineer on Deep Space Nine? Is that what he does? What is his job? Because he wasn't an engineer in TNG, was he? He's just the transporter guy. Tactical is security? Chief of operations. Oh, so he's ops. Station equivalent of chief engineer. Okay, as long as no one thinks that the chief it would be if people think he can be the chief engineer and that makes sense. Cuz we're on a starship, I'm guessing. Tactical is not security, but Worf had both. All right, here's what I got to do. I got to pull up. I got to actually write this down. All right, here's what we're doing. 1 second. Do I have Microsoft Word on my Apple Mac? Okay. Let me get this pulled up on screen for you guys. Um go. Okay. I think we got it. All right. Here we go. We're pulling this up. We're going to do it in Voyager font. Here we go. Josh's. Can you guys see that? I feel like that's still too small. Gotta make that bold. There we go. Is that better? All right. My hair's crazy. I'm getting a haircut, by the way, tomorrow. I already said that. Okay. Josh's crew. Okay, here we go. We got Captain. What was the list? Captain, First Officer, Uh, Come on, give me some. I already forgot the. Let me scroll up. Let me scroll up. I can't find it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Science. So we're gonna go CSO. That's science. Tactical. Helmsman. Communications. Ops. Chief engineer. Chief security. Doctor. We'll do CMO. Nurse. Counselor. And we're having a bar. Bartender. Any other roles that you guys can think of? Officer addicted to holodeck. Well, that's Barkley. We don't need to. Transporter chief? Okay. I feel like that's kind of a cheat just to get the chief on there, but I'll do it. Pilot is the helmsman. Best pet. Okay. Kid on the show? Ugh, no. No kids on my starship. Barber? Let's keep it. I know I have bartender on here, but let's try to keep the actual like crew. We'll start with this, and then if we have some fun, we can get into other ones. I think this is a good starting one here. Let's make this a little bit larger. Okay, Captain. Captain. And now keep in mind, this is not on my this is not my favorite characters for each thing. This is just who I want to. I'm building a specific crew here, okay? And we're gonna say this is a here. Okay, my smart science people, not as small as the Voyager, not an Intrepid class. What would be like bigger than that, but not an Enterprise? That'd be like an Excelsior class. What's something with like a few hundred people, like the original Enterprise? Nebula? Bonsai class? Nebula class. Okay. Oh, it's like the Enterprise with the things, the nacelles underneath it. Excelsior or Ambassador. Well, what's the point of a Nebula class? Because I kind of like how it looks. What's the purpose of it? Officially designated as an explorer. Constitution class? And my internet will load. Come on, man. I'm literally streaming. You're telling me I have a problem with my internet somehow, even though I'm literally streaming? Constitution class. Oh, so like just the original Enterprise, basically. Well, I'm gonna be in the 24th century, so I don't think I should be using a 23rd century ship. All right, I'm gonna go with the Nebula, just because of the meme Nebula. Oh, by the way, the episode we watched today of Voyager was the there's coffee in that Nebula. Okay. Um, Speaking of that, the captain is Janeway. Get over it. I'm gonna say that after every option. Get over it. Add to dictionary, bro. Learn spelling. Okay. Yeah, you guys can see that, right? Okay. First officer is Deanna Troy. Get over it. CSO was Spock. Tactical, we're not sure yet. That's the one I'm not sure yet. The helm is going to be Tom Paris. I'm guessing you spell it like this. Communications is Uhura. Ops is Data. Dude, Spock and Data. Interesting. Um. So now Chief Engineer, because we're gonna put Miles as the transport. I mean, that's just his role. That's what he's best at. Miles O'Brien. What is that, Brian? So learn spelling. Okay. So Chief Engineer. So then we have Scotty, Geordi, Belena, or Gomez. um, this feels like a fantasy draft. A fantasy draft where I'm the only one drafting. Uh, gotta go Scotty, but I like Geordi, of course, but I will say for Scotty, we're going off of prime like fantasy scenario alternate universe. This is TOS Scotty. It is not old Scotty in TNG or from Generations. It is TOS Scotty. Same thing with Uhura. Okay. So these characters got into a space anomaly, both Enterprises and the Voyager, and also the entirety of Deep Space Nine got into an anomaly, and they're all their prime ages. Okay. Um. So okay, hear me out on this one. Hear me out on this one. Chief of Security is Kira Nerys. Is that how you spell her name? How far off am I? Nerys? No. Like that. Is that how you spell her name? No. Chief of Security is Kira. Okay. And then we're gonna have. Unfortunately, Odo's not making my crew. I love Odo. He doesn't belong on a starship. Like he would not work. He's too much. He's too aggressive. He's can't trust him. He's a founder. Get this founder out of here. Master Jake, thank you for the super chat. Chief Engineer should be the dude who got kicked off TNG for asking fans to write in about how great he was. Oh, what was his name? I just referenced him. Uh, Argyle. Argyle. Biff Yeager. Yeah, Green Brown had it. No, he's not. He's not here. But shout out to him. Okay. See, here's where I was gonna say Data and Spock, but is that I don't know if they should both be on the crew. I feel like they fill similar roles. Emotionless. Do you think that's good? I'm trying to think because I'm trying to like fit, make a crew here where everyone has their own gimmicks. Yeah, Ro, I also want to get on here, but I don't know. As an android, I don't have emotions, and that makes me sad. Oh no, Lore is a security officer. I cannot trust Lore. Oh, Ken R says if you don't pick Bones next, give up the channel. Yeah, that's totally fair. But Ken R, I think you missed it. I actually said I couldn't pick between the doctors, so I did a cop out answer and said Dr. Solar. Because I can't pick. That's like a classic TV plot. Two characters fighting over the CMO spot, and then like something happens where they both like make each other look bad trying to get it, so then someone else gets the job at the end of the episode, and then our characters are in the same spot they were before. That definitely would happen. Um, and then of course the nurse would be Ogawa. Is that how you spell it? Wait, I, I love Ogawa. I love Ogawa, but it has to be Chapel though, right? That's that's a tough one. I think it has to be Chapel though. I'm not on this crew, Quentin. I'm in San Francisco in 23, whatever year it is, putting this crew together. Even though that doesn't even make sense in my own scenario because I said they all got put into a space anomaly. But just take it for what it is. Oh, computer voice. Pulaski for computer voice. We do have to do computer voice. Yeoman. I do think we should have a yeoman. We'll get to that. Okay. Counselor, hear me out. Hear me out. Jadzia Dax. She's had 8 lifetimes. She knows everything. I think she'd be a great counselor. Boy, is Cisco gonna be pissed his first officer got reassigned. First Jaro, now me. To answer the super chat a while ago, though, about which doctor I would want if I was getting treated, it would be Bones. Me, personally. But for the CMO, I want to put Dr. Solar. Guinan would be another great counselor, too. But in the loss, they talked about her being a counselor versus a bartender. All right. We got bartender, yeoman, and tactical. I still don't know what tactical does. I'm going to look it up. Star Trek, what does tactical officer do? Oh my god, it says in Star Trek First Contact when Picard just immediately. Uh dude, you got to love the memory alpha like summary. The tactical officer is a tactical aide that's stationed at a tactical station. It's like, come on, bro. The weapons? Okay. All right. Well, then it kind of has to be Worf because you have to be able to say Mr. Worf fire. You got to be able to say Mr. Worf fire. So, Dana Scully should be on the crew. Quentin, okay, we're going to do this one and then next we're going to do all non-Star Trek people. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Um okay. Bartender and yeoman. First of all, the yeoman is going to be Nog. Okay? Hear me out. Nog is getting everyone coffee. Shout out to Janice Rand. I don't think they should have gotten rid of the yeoman. You know, it didn't have to be a straight up secretary position or whatever, assistant position. They could have done some cool stuff with it. But Nog's gonna be the yeoman. You know, he's gonna get his ears wet. Oh, his lows. Wait a minute. And then we'll do bartender. I'm really just struggling with Data, Spock, and Worf. I mean, Worf's not the same as those two, but do they fit well together on the same crew? That was another reason I didn't do Spock and Bones, because I just felt like obviously they're already in the TOS crew together and have such a strong dynamic. Bro, imagine Tom Paris and Spock. Crazy. No Spock, he's too OP. I know Data is ops. Who is there even a chief science officer in TNG, or is that also Data? Does everyone in TNG just have two jobs all of a sudden? Oh, Kyle? Is that Lieutenant Kyle? Oh no, Lieutenant Riley? We have watched through episode 6 of Voyager the Cloud. There's no chief science officer in TNG. Oh, wait a minute. Guys, what am I doing? What am I doing? Spock's gone. Spock's gone. There's only one answer here. Why did no one bring this up? That makes it look so much better. Okay. And then Data can stay. Vulcan Nerd, you did? Okay. When you said Neela Darren, well, in fairness, I typed it in, and the delay on my side, I typed that in before you put that. But I think we were great minds think alike there. Does that change your captain? Wait, why would you say that? What about the. Wait. Is there something about these three characters that's similar in some way? What do you mean? Anyway, last thing we got is bartender. We can add more roles if you guys want, but last thing we have is bartender. And guys, I've already had this locked in my head since we started this list. There's only one answer for the bartender. Okay, let's be honest. It's Ardra. Ardra is the bartender. All right. So that's our crew. You know, Guinan is a legend. Quark is great. But Quark, similar to Odo, probably wouldn't do incredibly well on a starship. There's no money to make. Ardra is the bartender. Ardra, and you don't trust Laura on your security team? Well, here's the difference. In this scenario, Ardra would be working off some type of sentence, like she's in jail and she has to work it off by being on this crew, which again doesn't make sense in the scenario I set up of them being in a space anomaly. Ardra parolee, exactly. We'll pretend she was already on in the brig on the Enterprise when it got taken into the anomaly. Ooh, Eric's. That's another deep cut. Eric's could be good. What did Eric's do in TAS? We can't have Luoxan as the bartender because we can't have both Troys on the ship. They would kill each other. These are the voyages of the Starship Resolute, a nebula-class vessel built for glory, built for discovery, to boldly understand the void beyond. Nice, nice, Badger. We do need to name this ship, I guess, right? Any room for Armus on your crew? Remind me who Armus was. Bartender Harry Mudd. Harry Mudd could be good. No, we're gonna do Harry Mudd is going to be in the episode we just watched today of Voyager, Neelix called himself this. But he's going to be Chief Morale Officer. Starship Echo, that's a pretty good one. Oh, Armus from Skin of Evil? Yeah, I think we're good on him. USS Target Audience? Oh, well, of course you have to. Of course, this has to be the name. Wait a minute. It's the only thing that matters. It's the USS Execution. And we are going to execute. USS The Plot. USS End on the Scene. And what's the NCC number? I don't know. How are NCC numbers even decided? Because 1701 and then the Voyager is like something weird. It's like 2465. I don't even know what the number is. Yeah, Ensign Gates can get on Alex's crew. Unfortunately, didn't make it on mine. Overlooked yet again. The writers make it up. Okay, well, yeah, of course. But I just mean, like, there has to be some type of canon reason. The numbers go up over time. All right, then we're going to be the NCC 9001 because it's over 9,000. I couldn't tell you what NCC even stands for. I don't know either. All right, here we go. Here's what we have, guys. All right. We're going to go over it and then we're going to lock it in unless we want to make any changes. By we, I mean me and me alone. Josh's crew, okay? We got NCC 9001, USS Execution. We got Captain Janeway, of course. First Officer Deanna Troy. Chief Science Officer Nella Darren. Tactical Worf, Mr. Worf-Fire. At the helm, we have Tom Paris. Communications is Uhura. Although, the only thing about this, with the communications being Uhura, is we did say that this is a 24th century ship. You know, it is a Nebula class. And by the 24th century, they didn't really have a communications officer because they didn't really need it anymore. So should we still keep this? Let me know. Ops, we have Data. Chief Engineer, Scotty, of course. Can you imagine Scotty trying to explain to Captain Janeway how long he needs to get something done? Chief Medical Officer, we have Dr. Solar, the nurse, Nurse Chapel. Jadzia Dax's counselor, Miles O'Brien. Kieran Reese, by the way, Chief Security. Miles O'Brien, the transporter. Ardra, bartender. The yeoman is Nog. And the Chief Morale Officer is Harry Mudd. Ooh, uniforms. That's a good one because the uniforms are going to be, I don't even know how to put this into words like in a short manner, but they're going to be the uniforms that Captain Crusher and crew wore in All Good Things. Anyone got a name for that? Kicking your feet and giggling. The motion picture pajamas. Oh, the executive officer in charge of radishes. That is an important one. Oh, okay. ARS Animus says original meaning the NCC prefix was chosen by designer Matt Jeffries adapting 20th century aircraft registration codes NC with a nod towards US Soviet cooperation. Okay, cool. Nice. Is your list going to change as you watch other series? Yeah, I mean, I can do this again. This is literally a meme. But yeah, I could do this again. It'd be also good to do it once Enterprise is one thing, but also just like finishing Deep Space Nine and Voyager. I mean, I'm a few episodes into Voyager here. I mean, it's like maybe Tuvok makes this list. Maybe Kim makes this list. Belena. Stellar cartography is a real position. No, it is a real position, but it is inside of the science department. So a chief science officer could have their specialty be in stellar cartography. I like it, man. I think we're good with where we're at. Wow, Josh is already schooling you suckers on Star Trek rank knowledge. Okay, let's not get out of hand. Is this crew in their prime? Yeah, this is all of them in their prime. Oh, someone mentioned it earlier. We have to do computer voice. Who is the computer voice? Do we switch it up and do a male voice? Mark Twain. Yeah, no thank you. Barkley would be the most nervous computer of all time. You know what? Because he got kicked off of the crew, let's do Spock. Let's do Spock as the computer voice. You go to ask the computer a question, and it's Leonard Nimoy, Spock. Jack Crusher computer voice. Yeah, if you want a wooden computer. Oh, Cisco. What would be someone give me a computer line to say in Cisco's voice? Computer voice also Janeway. She talks to herself. Come on, someone give me a line. I want to say a line as that Cisco would say as the computer. Attention Bajoran workers. As much as I would love Ducat to be on this crew, I cannot in all good faith put a Ducat, Gul Dukat on my Starship crew. Okay, here we go. Awakening Comics. Want to see? Warning. Couldn't get through it. Warning. Radiation levels above safety levels. What did he say? Everyone on the crew. Shields. Ow! Yeah, you have you'll have Nella Darren. Computer, where is Counselor Dax? Counselor Dax is in the counseling office. Where else would she be? She's counseling. Yeah, then you're gonna start with Jake. The old man, yeah. You can find the old man in the counselor's office. Yeah, Counselor Dax is pretty good, right? All right. Now we're going to do this same thing. I'm just going to copy this. Add a page. Oh, wait. That's not what I meant. We're the same thing, except this is going to be all non-Star Trek characters that we have watched on the channel. Reacted to on the channel. Be Patreon or YouTube, any character. Did we reacted to on the channel? We can change this later if we want, but we'll just keep that the same for now. Okay. So, yeah, Amos has got to be on the crew. I mean, I think Chief of Security off the bat makes the most sense, right? Famous Amos. Just in case anyone's here who's only ever watched our Star Trek reactions and nothing else, we have watched The Expanse, the first season of Buffy, the first season of Quantum Leap, the first season of Game of Thrones, the first season of Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, the original Battlestar Galactica, Firefly, Barry, uh, Zach Stone is going to be famous, the Bo Burnham Show, Hawkeye, Captain Malcolm Reynolds. Would you say him over Adama? I feel like Al from Quantum Leap should be the bartender. Superman could be on the crew. We also reacted to Superman. Ned Stark wouldn't last a season. Ouch. Yeah. Oh no, not Christian as the counselor. Oh no. What the fuck do you want me to say? Get the fuck out of my office. Adama should get the nod. All right, well, first of all, the helm is definitely Alan Tudyk. What is Alan Tudyk's name from Firefly? Someone remind me. Wash? Wash is obviously the helmsman. You know, we could put Dana Scully as the chief medical officer. I would say that Wash is definitely, I don't want to say better, but I would put Wash over Alex from The Expanse. I really like Alex from The Expanse, but I think Wash is my favorite helmsman, favorite pilot of anything. I like him more than Apollo from original BSG. She is a medical doctor. Didn't you watch the first episode of Farscape? Yeah, but I don't think I know any of those characters enough to say anything. To say any of them. Counselor Shepard, yeah, Shepard Book. Wait, what were all the names that Alex called Shepard Book? Bishop? Yeah, I was actually thinking, yeah, Mr. Drake said CSO or medical. I was actually thinking maybe also Chief Science Officer, Dana Scully. What do you guys think? Chief Science Officer or Chief Medical Officer? Red Headliner, thanks for being here. Have a good night. Have Alex do the list. I'll ask him. Chief Medical, Chief Medical. Okay, everyone's saying doctor. Okay. Dr. Scully. We're going to have the Chief Morale Officer be Willow from Buffy. I feel like she'd make things a good time. We have done the two William Shatner episodes of The Twilight Zone on the channel. We've watched most of the original Twilight Zone on our own, in our own life, but oh god, Chauncey Gardner from being there. Scully clones in each position. Ghostface Killer as counselor. We did watch, yeah, the Scream series. Good pull. Was her name Willow? Did I got that right? Fedora coming in with which DS9 actor do you want to direct an episode next? You know, it's hard to say because it's like I don't know any other directional talents or interests. But if I was to randomly pick a cast member, I think it'd be cool if Armin did one. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put Mulder as first officer because he needs to be able to challenge whoever the captain is. So we need like a little bit more of a straight laced captain. Giles, yeah. Giles is a great yep, that's spot on. Computer voice is Giles. Adama is captain with Mulder as first officer. But Captain Reynolds, see, but Captain Reynolds might be too similar to Mulder. Like I feel like if Mulder was like, "Oh, it's aliens," Captain Reynolds would be like, "Well, yeah, of course it's aliens. We're in outer space." Captain Miller from Event Horizon. Ooh, that's a good one. I liked Buffy. I didn't. Well, okay. Let me not go too overboard. I did not hate Buffy like Alex did. I thought it was fine. It is not. The first season was not anything that made me go, "Oh wow, I really need to watch this show." I just thought it was fine. And then when we watched Hush, I also thought that was fine. But people saying the best show of all time, it didn't hit me that way. But I did not hate it. Alex does not like shows like Buffy. I also don't think Alex would like uh I've only seen the first episode of Smallville. I don't think Alex would like Smallville, just based on the vibes I got from it. I really loved the first episode of Smallville. So, you know, we should have different tastes on something. I'm more into cringe uh teenage drama type stuff than he is. Campy, yeah. Well, campy implies that it's like on purpose, which maybe it is on purpose, I don't know. For me, it doesn't even have to be on purpose to be good. Like I think a lot of Community is campy, but on purpose. You know, I like shows that aren't necessarily campy on purpose. You might like Voyager more than him. I think he has a soft spot for campiness or stuff like that when it comes specifically to Star Trek, because so much of Star Trek is like serious that it comes off as kind of a counterbalance, as to where something like Buffy, and I haven't seen the whole show, this is just the vibe I'm getting, or Smallville, for example, that's like the main dish, if that makes sense. Then you have something completely over the top like 1960s Batman where it's like, okay, of course you know you're getting that. So it's a little bit different. Yeah, I haven't seen Riverdale, but my expectation would be that I would not like it a lot, but I would find it watchable for what it is, as to where I don't think Alex could watch Riverdale. He'd like want to kill himself. The full cast of 12 Angry Men as the crew. Boba Fett, yeah, that's a good one. Who is the operative? What is that from? Outer Banks. Yeah, that was one of those I watched. I think the first two episodes of it, but I never followed up with it. The main bad guy from the Serenity film. Oh, that guy. Yeah, he was all right. Speaking of that though, the doctor from Firefly. What was his name? We already have a CMO, but I'm just curious. What was his name? Simon Tam. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that him, the girl who played the sister, the girl who played the one that Simon had a crush on or whatever, and then I want to say Alan Tudyk are all at a convention in March together in like Des Moines, Iowa, or something like that. Oh yeah, Invincible. That's a good pull. But Invincible is also like a cheat because it's like, okay, yeah, have Omni Man as your captain. Nothing bad is ever happening to you. I feel like it's a little bit of a cheat, like same with like Superman. But I will put communications officer Lois Lane from Superman, the movie. A journalist, that's kind of like a communications officer, right? Transport Chief seems tough to solve. How many shows have y'all watched that have teleportation tech? Yeah, Transporter and even Chief Engineer might both be tough. But we have watched, Battlestar Galactica, Firefly, that which I mean should have engineers, right? Would you consider reacting to Buffy on your solo channel? I would consider it, but I would want to do Smallville first. At least the first season. Because they seem kind of similar in you know, vibe. Oh yeah, Chief Engineer, the twins. What is it? Is that their name, the Blue Twins, or do they have names? Naomi is not going to be in my crew. So there's nothing against her. Rick Grimes. Oh yeah, we did do the first season of Walking Dead. Mauler twins. Okay, we're doing the Mauler twins from Invincible. I feel like they worked with future technology, right? They can be engineers. Oh yeah, Kaylee. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, that's her name. Was that her name, Kaylee? She was a great engineer, wasn't she? Target audience is Alex for ship counselor. See you later, Quentin. Thanks for being here. Cecil could be the transporter chief. I'm gonna put the Mauler twins there actually instead of chief engineer. I think they'd be funny. They'd probably get into a lot of shenanigans with the transporter, and they've dealt with like timeline jumping and stuff like that. Boltar. Boltar would be kind of sketch though. I don't know if I trust Boltar on the crew. Is there someone from The Walking Dead that could be like a nurse from the first season? Carol? Was that the blonde? Or was that the wife? I don't remember much about it. Oh, Ouija. Oh, see, now we're not even getting into reaction content. Now we're just getting into full on. Yeah, that opens up another door completely. Oh, Carol was the abused wife. Oof. Yeah, oh, I remember that. Was she a nurse? We did watch Kenobi. I feel like Obi-Wan Kenobi could be a good tactical officer. She is a perfect nurse, season 1, but you should watch season 2. Okay, well then I'll put Carol. We are basically ignoring characters with superpowers. Yeah. Wait, who is Rigel? The puppet alien on Farscape. Yeah, okay, yeah. I just don't know I don't know enough about the show. Okay, we haven't reacted to Beyond Belief, but we did talk about it. Does that count? Because I'm putting Jonathan Frakes on the crew if that counts. It is on the channel, but I don't know. I did say, yeah. All right. If people say it counts, I'm going to put. And his counseling office is the room from Beyond Belief. You just go in there, you start talking about your problems, and he just goes, "That's all great, but have you ever seen an 8-foot man? Have you ever ridden your bike over wet cement? Jersey, I'll see you later." Oh, Colonel Ty. Colonel Ty, that's a good one. Was Colonel Ty in the original Battlestar Galactica, or was that a reboot creation? He was in the OG? Oh, yes. Yes, I remember that now. Okay. And I remember really liking Colonel Ty in the original, but he may have been surpassed by the '03 Colonel Ty. That guy was awesome. Literally an alcoholic, though. What is ops? Operations? I don't know. I think it's just kind of generic. It's what Data does. Do I have any movie characters? I don't know if I was doing movie characters. Because that just opens up a whole other thing. Ty was great in BSG 2003. Yeah, he was, but that original Ty was really good too. Oh, Ellen Ty. You know what? That we'll split the difference. Ellen Ty is going to be the yeoman. Wait, is that how you spell it? Oh, oh no, not the registered companion, bro. Oh no. I want to see Frakes try to convince Mulder any of the Beyond Belief stories were made up. Yeah, yeah. Mulder's like, this happened, Jonathan. I saw it. It was a complete fabrication. Oh, they'd have a great time in the bar together. By the way, this is going to be OG Adama as the captain. I've decided. You know, I love Malcolm Reynolds, but I think he'd be too similar to Mulder. Plus, who is it that's OG Adama? Lauren Green? The USS Vash? All right, so what do we still need here? Oh, I don't know if I like Willow and Giles from Buffy. We might have to take out Willow. What have we not represented yet from the channel? We have Firefly. We got BSG, the original BSG, and the remake. Inara is Morale. It could be Inara, but I'll try to think of other stuff we haven't. Quantum Leap is we got Al as the bartender. Cassiopeia, what was she from? Ooh, Amanda Waller. We did watch Peacemaker. Cassiopeia was 70. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh, was she? Let me look it up. And then there was Athena, right? And they just got rid of Athena in the reboot L decision. I remember really liking Cassiopeia. What did she do? She was a prostitute. Great. Okay. Damn it. A med tech assistant. I don't know if Cassiopeia makes the list, unfortunately. All right, we got to get someone from Game of Thrones season 1 in here. Do we put what's Dinklage's name? Tyrion? Is that Dinklage? Would he be good in Ops? I don't know what Ops does. Make sure the ship go good. Okay, that's good enough for me. I'm putting Tyrion. Oh, what is that? So we just have our chief science officer left. See you later, Denaxis. Thanks for being here. Hey, Josh. Who NA Patreon here? Who NA? I love your reactions because it's like hanging out with friends. I look forward to each. Well, thank you, Keith. I appreciate you. Is that your name on Patreon? Who NA? Who's a good scientific character that we have watched? Who North America? Oh, okay, okay. Let's try to stick with TV show characters because movie characters would change this whole thing. And unfortunately, Stargate and Farscape, we only watched one episode. I don't know those characters enough. I didn't watch MacGyver. Let's go Dr. Lazarus, but he's a doctor. Anybody from Barry Sciency? Mm, not really. The Clone Wars. I mean, we already have Kenobi. No, Hank. Simon from Firefly. Yeah, because Scully was a doctor and a scientist. Yoda. Yoda would technically count. The only Marvel show we watched, I think, was Hawkeye. And I don't know if there were any science characters in that. Oh, yeah, Walter White. Yep, Walter White. We watched the first episode of Breaking Bad, and that's all we needed to see. Although Adam Eve is actually a Adam Eve is a good one too. Ah, Badger. Ah, but he was a science teacher, yeah, wasn't he? Yeah. Adam Eve is good though. Got to watch Breaking Bad on your solo, by the way. Literally nuts that you haven't seen it. Yeah, I know. I know. You guys are the best Star Trek reaction channel. The Trek from the 60s. It's fun to see you guys appreciate how it's evolved. I'm looking forward to see you guys start Voyager. Well, I appreciate that. All right, let's go over this and see if we need to make any changes. Okay, we got Captain the OG Adama from Battlestar Galactica 1978. First officer is Mulder, Fox Mulder. The chief science officer is Walter White. Tactical officer is Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is so weird. The helmsman is Wash. Communications officer is Lois Lane. Chief of ops is Tyrion Lannister. The chief engineer is Kaylee from Firefly. The chief security officer is famous Amos. Chief medical officer Dana Scully with the nurse Carol from Walking Dead. Counselor is Jonathan Frakes from Beyond Belief. The transporter is the Mahler twins from Invincible. Bartender is Al from Quantum Leap, with Yeoman Ellen Ty, Chief Morale Officer Anara, and the computer voice of Giles. I think that's a pretty good representation of most of the shows we've watched. Although I did say show characters and then included Lois Lane. And she's the only movie character in here, I think. But I'm keeping it. All right, guys. That is my list. Wow. That was fun. I'm going to save this. That was fun. I'm going to double check Super Chat, just make sure I didn't miss anything. Doesn't look like I did. So, thank you guys for all the Super Chats. I started this a little over 3 hours ago. Didn't know how many people would be here. Just wanted to check it out. And it's been a lot of fun. So, I really appreciate it. Maybe we'll do some more of these in the future. For all y'all that stayed up late with me, thank you very much. And like I said, if you missed anything up top, Generations will be on YouTube on Thursday. Over on my solo channel, I'm going to be watching 6 Feet Under first season, Smallville first season, doing some more music reactions as well and some movie reactions. So those are all coming over there in the next coming weeks. It's That Guy Josh is the YouTube channel. Hope everyone has a good night. In the morning here on YouTube, you'll get the Meridian reaction and the X-Files Uncut for this week goes out to everyone on Patreon tomorrow. It's up right now for early access tiers. So thanks everyone for being here. This was a lot of fun. I'll see y'all later. Have a great night.